Damn, those headphones are loud. Good morning, everybody. Hey. I didn't know until just now that Moon Griffon's deaf. 604, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing. Starting off your Wednesday, it's 79 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pro studio. Hey, Bree Lynn.
Howdy.
Moon was in studio yesterday.
Oh, boy.
And when I plugged in these headphones, you could hear it in the parking lot. That is insane.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So now we know he's so hard of hearing. Maybe that's why he yells all the time.
Could be.
Or that's just Moon. He's going to yell regardless if he can hear or not.
I mean, I hurt my ears just now. That was, wow. All right. We got a lot of ground to cover this morning, y'all. Big shout out to Pastor Tony Spell. I did not know what we're going to be talking about in Legally Served, and sure enough, he copped to a felony on camera. So good for him. Also this morning, Derek Babcock from State Republican Party is going to hop on board at 7:15. He's got new news. He's got new numbers. Casey Cresbie from the RNC going to join us, talk about probably an underreported Supreme Court ruling from yesterday, which could have some significant ramifications here in Louisiana. David Cresson from the LCA is going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour, and so is Newt Gingrich. So let's get after it. Top stories and trending. Air Products is pulling out. The industrial gas company said they are not proceeding with their Louisiana Clean Energy Complex project to build a carbon sequestration pipeline running from New Orleans through southeast Louisiana and ending in Texas City, Texas, citing financial reasons for its fold. We're not going to talk about it a whole lot today. David Cresson from LCA is going to address it a little bit. I want to dig into this a lot more tomorrow because there's a lot of whys to be answered here. Because along with the project packing up and leaving, that means 170 jobs at a total annual salary of $16 million packs up and heads out with it. Former LSU and NFL running back Richard Murphy was booked in the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on vehicular homicide charges yesterday, stemming from a Baton Rouge crash that killed 94-year-old Robert Tarver and 69-year-old Carla Tarver and sent two others to the hospital in critical condition. Murphy was booked into the parish jail on 2 counts of vehicular homicide, as well as 1 count of first-degree vehicular injury, operating while impaired, driving while license is suspended, and reckless operation of a vehicle. He got to check himself in at his leisure to be formally arrested. Jack Monisset, former secretary for the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, who earlier this year pleaded guilty to playing a role in a kickback scheme involving a statewide department contract that allegedly garnered him over $120,000, has been sentenced. He's been sentenced to just over 2 years in prison. Talking about what you might have missed overnight, the Baton Rouge Fire Department responded to a vacant house fire on South 12th Street. The fire officials said it happened in the 1200 block of South 12th. They arrived to find the structure fully engulfed in flames, searched the residence, extinguished the fire. The home had no utilities connected, so it's also considered a total loss. A nearby structure also sustained heat and smoke damage. New body camera footage from East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office deputies showed Tony Spell calling his neighbor's son a slur and threatening a man 2 days after his arrest. I don't know why that's the only lead sentence in the story, because he actually said on camera to a sheriff's office deputy that he whipped somebody's behind.
And he made another threat or promise, depending on how you view things, that neighbor is next if he messes with the boys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're going to have some fun.
To quote him, you're going to start a fire.
You could quote him.
You're going to handle some flame. You got to handle some flames. It's so much to talk about.
Love it. He's the gift that keeps giving the whole year round.
Right.
Clark.
Right. I'm out for a day, and then that's Pastor Spell.
Like literally on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Like it's on his Outlook calendar.
He's like, we need to stir up some news, y'all.
Man, I haven't been persecuted in a minute.
Gosh.
Gotta make some money.
Franz said, gotta make some money. Following a pair of devastating earthquakes that struck Venezuela last week, the Trump administration has doubled its relief commitment to U.S. Southern Command, and they have deployed over 300 search and rescue personnel.
1,943 people confirmed dead so far.
That is just heartbreaking.
It's going to get way, way worse. I'll be shocked if it doesn't end up I'll be shocked if it doesn't eclipse 5,000.
Oh my God.
I know.
Those poor people.
Tens of thousands of people are still unaccounted for. So,
wow. The National Retail Federation says per person spending, now this is wild, for independent state barbecues has hit $94.41 compared to just $68.16 back in 2014.
So in 12 years, it's increased by over 150% or 50% over itself.
But note, it says per person. What?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't eat that much food. I don't eat $95 worth of food.
Right.
I might eat a burger, maybe a half of a hot dog, maybe some potato salad.
Who eats half a hot dog?
A quitter.
A quitter.
Brilliant.
A quitter. She needs to eat the whole dog. Put the whole dog in your mouth.
It's a hot dog. It's a hot dog. How do you like, what do you get, like 2 bites in and be like, nope, out. I realize I'm a fat guy, so I got my own issues going on here. But you just walk away from the middle of a hot dog,
right? Like, nope, I'm done. I just think I don't like the taste of the actual meat because we all know we don't know what's in it for one, and so I'm more of a chili dog kind of person. So I enjoy the taste of the chili. Then I'm done.
It's 6:11 a.m. and I'm using an incredible amount of restraint right now. Just saying.
But
you're welcome, Brian Haldane.
Nathan's is an all beef hot dog, by the way.
Oh, okay. So
I understand people, but I understand people who are like, gross. Hot dogs are gross because of the nature of what you're actually eating and how they're made.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to eat the entire hot dog. I mean, it's not that big. It's a medium. It's
Oh God! But still, I don't understand how one person can eat $95 worth of food on a barbecue. Is that the cost of living now? I mean, I know the cost of beef is outrageous, but
no, but it's not just it goes down when you have more than one person. You don't walk into a grocery store and say, "I like one hot dog, please." No, you got to buy it by a pack of 8. You buy your ground beef by the pound.
They're basing it off of that. Okay.
Right. You buy, you don't walk in and say, "Give me one Lay's potato chip, one Craven potato chip
just
at Mathern's."
Yeah,
right.
Just one.
Right. You're not Chris Rock and I'm going to get you sucker. It's how much for one rib?
Just one. That makes total sense. Okay.
All right.
We've got another shark alligator roll story for you today. This one coming from Florida. A Florida woman was bitten and killed by an alligator while swimming in a river. Here's the thing. She was the third attack on the river in 7 days.
Maybe shut down that river. I don't know. Maybe.
What I'm saying.
Maybe after, I would have said after the first one. Someone got attacked by an alligator yesterday. We haven't gotten the alligator yet. Oh, you want to shut it down? No. What are you, Mayor Vaughn from Amity?
From Jaws?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amity's the town in Jaws, the island in Jaws. Yeah.
That's
what are you, Mayor
thinking.
Vaughn?
After the first one, I'm not going in there.
No. After the second one?
Really not going in there after that. Now the third one, they're still not going to shut it down?
You get a second person bit. I mean, the third person think he's got to be full by now.
Right.
Wow, that was more morbid than I thought it was going to be.
Dang, Brian, I didn't think you were going to bring it there.
Speaking of shopping for the 4th of July, if we can get off the alligator story, speaking of shopping for the 4th of July, Mathern's has got you covered. If you got the Mathern's Rewards app, you can earn cash towards more groceries every time you shop. Love taking advantage of the deals on the app as well. In fact, here you go, Bree Lynn. If you are spending $10 or more at Mathern's starting today, you get a free 8-pack of Bar S Franks, the red Franks.
Oh, yeah. My kids love those.
Yeah. Craven potato chips are still 50 cents off. Johnsonville brats are 50 cents off. The Craven cookies are 50 cents off. The deals start to stack up when you start clipping through them. And oh, by the way, if you go to the back of the store with the Mathern's on Kenilworth, they've got a bunch of Louisiana specialty meats back there. If you want to throw something on the grill that is going to wow just a little bit, not your normal burgers and dogs, throw something on there It's got a little pop to it, a little kick, a little taste to it. They've got you covered over at Mathern's. The app's good at all 3 locations, but I highly recommend visiting Mathern's at Kenilworth. It's Mathern's.
So one of the big questions that's been asked a lot is, how did the video footage get released so quickly?
The body cam?
If it's not an arrest, it's immediately available for public records. But I suspect someone from the sheriff's office said, hey, yo, you got to see this, and then leaked it.
Now,
I don't think he realized he was being recorded.
Then why did he have makeup on?
Did he have makeup on?
No, I don't know.
The hair was slicked back nicely.
Who dresses like that to cut the grass, by the way?
Well, that
long sleeves, blue jeans.
There's
on a riding mower.
Hold on. There is a comment debate about how long sleeves, long pants for cutting is for safety purposes and to avoid bugs. He's also Pentecostal, so I don't know if that's. I'm not Pentecostal, so but I look. He found what he was looking for. He was poking that bear.
How much of the video do you have? Can you grab?
You want me to play? Oh, I downloaded into Adobe. You want me to play?
No. Adobe's fine. Audio's fine.
Okay.
How much of it do you have though? It's
16 seconds.
Okay, perfect. We don't need the whole thing.
Okay.
He does make a lot of references to same-sex activities to the point where it makes you kind of raise an eyebrow.
He does it during his sermon. It's his congregation all the time.
Well, I posted it in the chat yesterday. I think there's his closet. Yeah, I think so.
Well,
it wouldn't shock me.
He's his mannerism. Now that you bring that up, damn, I didn't even think about that.
I get to go to Lafayette today.
Have fun.
It's not fun. Federal plea. Whose dip is that over there?
We found it on the floor last week, so I put it back up on the counter. So if whoever belongs to, I don't think so. I think it's Kevin Ford's. .617 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. It is sports time, and not a whole lot to report on in sports this morning because so far the Pelicans have only made one significant move since free agency opened in the NBA yesterday. They have re-signed on a league minimum deal DeAndre Jordan. Yes, that DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan entering his 19th NBA season. He is back with the Pelicans at the center spot. They've got to upgrade that spot. But nonetheless, 19 seasons for DeAndre Jordan. Good on him. Meanwhile, and that's the only thing the Pelicans have really done on free agency so far. Meanwhile, over in the World Cup, it is the U.S. versus Bosnia-Herzegovina tonight. 7 p.m. is your start time for that match. They're playing out there in Santa Clara, California, the home of San Francisco 49ers, Levi Stadium. You got the U.S. and Bosnia-Herzegovina. Here's what I want to know over in the chat. We're live on Facebook every single day, courtesy of the folks at Lake Urgic here. Over in the chat, I would like to know, are you getting together for the game? Like, are you putting together some kind of watch party for the game? I know World Cup fever has been just huge right now, very, very viral online. But now it's time to watch the U.S. in knockout rounds. So, what's your level of participation here? You treating this like an SEC game? Let me know over in the chat where we're at. We're live every single day, courtesy of the folks at Lake Urgent Care. Meanwhile, we got the Fox Business Report coming up in just a quick second. Before we get you to the Fox Business Report, nope. Let's stay on time here. After the Fox Business Report, we'll check traffic, and then it'll be time. Franz Borghardt says to you, we've actually got more than one topic to cover this morning. Tony Spell's going to be the top of it, but that's on the way. Next, I'll talk 107.3. I do want to touch on the Richard Murphy thing, too.
Okay. Sure. It's your time, man. That's whatever you want. I told you on Sunday that my Instagram feed brings up NBA, like women like beating the snot out of each other. Who is the Indiana basketball player?
Caitlin Clark.
No.
Oh,
no.
Sophie.
Huntington?
Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham. Everybody loves her. Everybody is enamored with her. She's fantastic. Yeah. She's even better on TikTok.
She's all over my news feed right now. My For You page.
Mm-hmm. I watched her run and then basically just decimate some. It's awesome. Is she now the enforcer?
Yes,
I've seen Caitlin hit somebody in the face though.
No, Caitlin's getting beat up a lot. She's getting beat up a lot.
Why is the WNBA refs not protecting their players?
There's this inner circle of the WNBA that doesn't like its club being intruded by.
Got it.
There's no way to prove that, but that's where it's at.
Am I completely wrong? But I thought Sophie and Caitlin were okay. I know they got into it in the beginning, but
no,
they're not.
No, they're teammates and best buddies. When did they get into it?
Early. I don't know.
No.
Can Indiana afford to keep her, Caitlin?
WNBA. What does that even mean?
Fair point. Damn. Savage, Brian.
She makes tens of dollars
after taxes.
Exempt. Starting off your look at traffic on I-12 westbound coming in we're good coming in from Livingston Parish, but once you get into Baton Rouge from roughly Essen to the 10-12 merge, you're going to slow down just a touch. It's not enough to really change your route or barely tap the brakes, but you will have some company out there on the interstate from Essen to the merge as you start off your morning drive. Meanwhile, I-10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish is looking great as always. 10 eastbound coming back across from West Baton Rouge looks great. I-110 is good in both directions, and our surface streets are so there's no accidents reported, but I'm showing some delays on Old Hammond Highway heading westbound right by Sherwood. It looks like it stops for more than one light cycle right there. Might want to be on the lookout for that. I don't know, maybe. It's really light looking at traffic to start off the morning from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. IndustryMakes.org, IndustryMakes.org, born out of a need for collaboration, born out of a need to make sure that myths get busted and the truth gets out there. If you visit IndustryMakes.org, you can learn all about the businesses up and down the river that really make the products that keep the world going round and employ all of our neighbors. You can get a whole lot of, did you know, a lot of FAQs. I think with the air quality dashboard up there, they've got the ambassador toolkit. If you'd like to be someone who speaks up on behalf of industry, if you're someone that works in the business and you get hit with questions from time to time that you don't have answers to, they've got you covered. It's industrymakes.org. Let others make noise. We'll make everything else. Time for Legally Served. Morning, Franz.
It's hot out there.
Is it now?
What time do you normally cut your grass?
Oh, so I actually have a guy. I know I'm gonna sound like a wuss. I have horrible allergies. I have terrible allergies. So when I cut the grass, I'm down for 3 days. It's bad. So I've got a guy who will be there today. God willing, he'll be there today.
I just gift that just keeps on giving.
Pastor Spell. So
there we were minding our own business, trying to figure out what we were going to talk about.
We were going to talk about Richard Murphy a lot,
and we might.
We will.
Yeah,
we'll get to him before it's done.
And then lo and behold, a video is released out of Central on every major news outlet. Besides Central City News.
No, not there. Nope. You saw the headline there?
What was that?
Oh, Fleming's looking good in the Senate race. I got it in my mailbox yesterday.
Got it. Okay. Got it. There was an incident. I'll let you.
So, okay, there's new body camera footage from East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office deputies showing Tony Spell calling his neighbor's son a slur and threatening a man 2 days after his arrest. Mark Anthony Tony Spell, the pastor of Life Tabernacle Church along Hooper Road, was arrested and booked into the prison for second-degree battery back on June 23rd. Fast forward to 2 days later, East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office was called on a noise complaint by his neighbor, Scott Sherwin, the same guy they've been feuding with for 6 years. Sherwin complained about Spell mowing his lawn at 4 a.m., while also saying he believed a protection order was in place following the arrest. He's doing this to intimidate my victim's son, Sherwin said. Do you cut your grass at 4 o'clock in the morning? I want to start there, and because there's plenty to break down over what Spell said on camera, but I want to start there. Is it against the law to cut the grass at 4 a.m.?
So you have to look at first the protective order to see what the language is, but generally a protective order allows you to be on your own property. Okay, so that's number one.
Whoa. I'm talking like noise ordinances.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Right.
So the next thing is there a noise ordinance on a city or parish level? I don't think that there is out there, but there might be. It's certainly douchey behavior. And look, let's go one step further. It's poke and bear behavior.
It is.
But he might be, depending on what the noise ordinance says, he might be okay to cut his grass that early.
Okay. So, and the reason I asked that is just to be clear, that's where it's going to go. It's going to go. There's nothing against it, because I couldn't find anything that says it's against the law to cut your grass at 4 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't find anything on that.
So that leads to the next question of, how did this body camera get released so quickly? Well, if there's no arrest.
Was it that quick, though?
Well, it's 2 days after the
23rd.
Yeah.
Which would be the 25th. Okay. And we're on July 1st now.
So here's the law on body cams. If there is no arrest made or no criminal action, then it's subject to a public records request.
Mm-hmm.
He and they were screaming that the police weren't doing anything out there.
Mm-hmm.
The police are called and respond to a complaint, albeit not by him, but by the neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Once that determination was made, it's probably somebody from the police contacted the news and said, we go out there all the time. And here, look at this.
Well, let's bring up to speed since the last time we talked last Wednesday. We had Central's Police Chief Roger Corcoran on with us last week. Was it, I believe, Breland, was it Friday he was on? It was Friday he was on. And Roger Corcoran said his office has been called by the Spells 5 times over the last 4 years. Only 2 of those 5 times had anything to do with the Sherwins. So, or maybe it was even 1 of those 5 times, but they've responded. The Central Police Department has responded to every single call from the Spells. Now, I also asked Roger Corcoran, I said, could it be possible that someone just thinks I'm calling law, and they call the sheriff's office and they think they're calling Central PD? And Corcoran said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, it's actually the central substation for the sheriff's office, so it's very easy to get confused between the 2.
Yeah.
So calling law isn't exactly calling the law.
So the body camera footage is releasable as soon as there's no arrest.
Right. Release, not just releasable, but
obtainable.
Do you have to know what you're looking for, or why would someone go in with a freedom of information with a FOIA request for something that happened at 4:00 in the morning?
Because it was linked to the news.
Correct. And that's where we're going to go next. Right now, it's time for news. 6:30 at Talk 107.3 FM. Here's ABC.
You think he likes hot dogs?
It will not shock me. I'm just saying, it won't shock me.
Or buns.
I can't.
I mean, if you like the hot dog, you have to like the buns, right?
And I did not, when I was talking about it, how did I know that, Franz?
I used restraint.
Matt in the chat. What did he say?
So you're going to start a fire. You're going to have to handle the flames. So to me, that is an admission of, I'm messing with this neighbor. Right?
Yeah.
Because why else say, if you're going to start a fire, you got to handle the flames? How else could that be interpreted?
Is the word faggot bleeped out in what you have? If not, I can put a beep. Okay. Boy, they missed that bleep though.
Oh.
No, it's all good.
Is that one of the bad words that can't be used on?
No, you actually can use it. The FCC has no problem with that, but you're going to get 1 million complaints.
Right.
It's like I asked Scott McKay the other day not to say retard.
And so, of course, he said
no, he did not. He was very well behaved.
You never go full.
Matt was saying it's going to be a good first hour. Franz has to buy his time at 6:15.
Yeah.
See, they're talking about it too.
Oh.
Oh, Michelle loves it. She loves Franz. I mean, Franz.
She loves Franz too.
She does love Franz too, though.
I'm very lovable.
Do you want me to fire his clip?
I'll call for it.
Okay, because I'm recording in Adobe. That's why
I'm
No, it's okay. What I'll do is I'll clip it out of Sterling.
Okay.
I won't record this stuff.
All right.
I'm very lovable, except by Canadian Air Canada employees.
Oh my God! I forgot. You and your travel story, you could almost write a book.
I could, but the exploits of Franz Borghardt.
I'm being charged with attorney Franz Borghardt.
Don't tell me. And don't tell me. I know the law.
So I have a nasty cigar habit, but I've never dipped, and I don't use the little pouches.
I grew up dipping.
And really, do you still
grew
dip?
up in Covington.
Do you still dip?
No.
Okay, so the problem with this heat, because it is hot, it's hot out there.
It is hot.
I was smoking a cigar yesterday at like 8:00 at night, and it was oppressively hot outside.
See the Channel 9 story? I think 2 posted it too. Studies show that it's way more humid now.
It has something's going on because it's not normally smoking at night.
You were talking about smoking a cigar last night? Or
8 p.m. Yeah. It was hot.
Yeah.
It was real hot because normally in the evenings it cools off a little bit. We're gonna get a little rain today, so I mean maybe. Why when I'm outside I like to wear long sleeves, long pants.
I don't know how
Slick the hair back.
I don't think it's any noticeably different than when I was a kid. Like but growing up in St. Tammany Parish.
This can't be the same heat when I was a kid, or maybe it was.
I remember triple degree temperatures multiple times throughout the summer.
But was it always this humid? Probably.
Well, I mean, carry around it.
Maybe if I smoked at 4:30 a.m., it would be more comfortable.
Can you do it loudly so you can wake up Tim?
Let's be honest. If anyone's behaving badly and loudly,
Franz, you should try smoking at 4:30 in the morning. That's how you beat the heat.
Oh.
maybe he likes big hot dogs. Turkey hot dogs. Turkey hot dogs. Oh, it's so gross. They're all. I love a hot dog. So that's.
I can't do turkey.
So my 4th of July. I know it's a burger holiday, but I like a good barbecued hot dog with fully loaded on top.
They don't have a hamburger eating contest to start with the 4th of July. It's a hot dog day.
It's a hot dog with Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
Mad, his wife. Oh, never mind. I misread your question. He said if Spell is cutting grass at 4:30 a.m., who are the kids with him that early? I thought
it is, to his defense, it is a huge property, right? There's a lot of grass.
Sure. But if you weren't looking to antagonize, why would you say?
No, I agree. If he does it at 6 or 7 a.m., like you're looking
it's
at
actually cooler at 6 than it is at 4.
And you're looking at the neighbor at that point and saying, "Hey, dude, it's a.m. morning," and you know. So Fisher and Lil James play in the same basketball club, and they were, in fact, on the second game on Sunday. They played on the same team.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the way the rotations were working, James was never going to touch the ball that game.
That is a common complaint by Fisher, is when they have certain older kids playing.
It's not one of the older kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, by the way, Jack, I coached Shaq in 3rd grade. I didn't want him to listen. He refuses to listen.
I'm not trying to shit talk a 5th grader here, but you know.
It felt like it, you were. Hey, he touched the ball once. I saw him touch the ball once.
It's
right?
on Facebook now.
Yeah.
James, that was in the first game.
Yeah.
Well, the second game, the only time he touched the ball was when he got a rebound. .636 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We got attorney Franz Borghardt in for Legally Served. As we were breaking it there, Franz, we've gotten through the part where we've pretty well determined there's nothing against the law.
I think he can do what he's doing. I think he can do what he was doing.
Okay. But that moves us over to the why. And you were saying during the break, and this is such a weak excuse, but you were saying during the break, in Pastor Spell's defense, it's a big property. Right. So it does take a little while to cut the grass.
How do we know that he was poking the bear? His own words.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to start a fire. You got to handle the flames.
That right there tells me he's doing it intentionally to antagonize the neighbor.
Correct. So that's number one.
That's the same as the principle from the Breakfast Club saying if you mess with the bull,
and
you get the horns.
This is akin to the behavior he complains about from the neighbors when they're making faces and doing gestures and all that.
Right.
So
his take here is turnabout is fair play.
Let's put the anti-gay slur to the side for a second.
Well, actually, before we put it to the side, I want to play it.
Okay,
I mean,
go for
it's bleeped to be sure, but here's a clip of Pastor Spell, audio only, a clip of Pastor Spell on the body cam from the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office from the incident that we're talking about.
He's just sore because I beat the crap out of his little faggot boy. And he's next if he comes over here and harasses these boys. Yeah, he needs to go back to sleep with his boyfriend.
All right. That sets the table for the rest of the discussion.
So if you can put the anti-gay slur, let's it is what it is, to the side. Which, by the way, that's a bad word.
You think?
In society in 2026, one might even argue that's a fighting word. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, agree or disagree. That is one of those words that pretty bad. he says he's just mad because I beat that, and in reference to the victim's father, if he messes with me, he'll get the same. Or sorry, if he messes with these boys, he's next. He's next if he messes with these boys. So you got two things. It is an admission as to the underlying crime, which doesn't really matter because the whole thing was on video.
Right. Well, yeah, I get that, but I mean, this doubles down on it, right?
Right. So, I'm not sorry for what happened.
No, but I'm about to hit you with a curveball here.
Go for it.
Okay. If it was his belief that the son is in fact a homosexual, does that make this a hate crime?
Arguably, it could if he beat him because he was gay.
If law enforcement, if prosecutors were looking for ways to trump up charges,
that would be difficult. That would be, regardless of how I feel about the pastor, that would be a difficult selling point to either a grand jury or a good prosecutor.
We throw it out as points of conversation. That's all I'm bringing up.
I think the fact that the pastor dislikes homosexuals is a fact not in dispute.
Right.
I think the fact that he on video is recorded using a really bad slur is now a fact not in dispute. And in fact, I can't tell if he's also claiming the dad is homosexual as well.
That's what I got from that.
Yeah. So it becomes ridiculous almost.
A little bit.
So here's the thing. Is the threat to the police a crime in and of itself? Some are saying
he's going to do it again.
He's next. Some are saying, well, I mean, it's a promise, not a threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, it's probably not assault. If it sounds like I'm defending the pastor, I'm giving you what the law is.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a threat and the individual didn't hear it, it's not an assault. Okay. It certainly formulates the basis of a restraining order, which there is a restraining order in place based on the bond.
Right.
Not a civil
Which I wanted to ask about that as well, because of this guy's a neighbor. So are there places on the property that get too close?
I think the DA's office could file a motion to revoke bond or modify bond based on this to get him before the judge to address it in court. I think what the judge would say is, well, he's on his own property, guys.
That's exactly what
I think. Man, it feels like I'm defending the pastor today, which I mean,
that's the whole point of the conversation, Franz, is there are parameters here where he is working within them.
Correct. I don't have and by the way, if he's on his property doing dumb stuff, that also, and he's allowed to do dumb stuff on his property,
100%.
Then doesn't that kind of invalidate his argument that I heard this young man saying dumb stuff about my wife and what he was going to do to my wife and family, and so I took the law into my own hands? None of this, by the way, is shepherdly.
Oh, no,
right?
No, but you've got a years-long buildup on this whole thing.
Oh yeah, it's a powder keg.
But that's part of my point to this is, at some point along the way, and this isn't a legal question, but at some point along the way, doesn't someone need to put down their sword?
You would hope that the pastor be the one. What's that? Our Father, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us.
I mean, we use that prayer a lot. We go to that one a lot.
The sad thing about all this, non-legal, the sad thing about all this is this hurts good people who are trying to be Christian or good people who are trying to be Pentecostal.
1,000%. Yes, 1,000%.
Because what do you see in the comments? You see comments of people who are not big fans of Christianity or Pentecostals who are like, man, this is great. You Christians.
So that's a side part of this. An unintended consequence of this is the amount of anti-Christian vitriol being spewed at Christians right now across the board because of this spat back and forth. And oh, by the way, the return serve is very much non-Christian as well. But we get
back to the law.
Right, back to the law on this end.
I think this is a whole lot of nothing, but it may come into play. Those statements may come into play in trial. If it gets to a trial. It may come into play in so much as it shows he wasn't afraid for his life. He maybe wasn't acting in self-defense. And look, I think the self-defense argument is really thin. I think that's a really thin, and I think the amount of force he uses during that video where he's sitting on the guy's back, hitting him in the head.
35 punches to the head and chest.
I think the bigger problem for the pastor, and I've said this a million times, for all of you listening, If he can hear those comments at 100 yards, they should be on the Ring camera. I have not heard them once on the Ring camera.
Okay, do we have, we got 2 minutes before we hit break, okay? I want to address that part of this as well.
Sure.
Because that's another important part. If you are Pastor Spell's legal team and you have that Ring camera footage,
right?
Why would you give it to anybody right now? Would you give it to anybody right now?
I wouldn't give it to anybody, especially if he's in the footage.
But by holding on to it, no. If the 20-year-old from across the street is saying everything that Pastor Spell said he was saying,
oh no, you're leaking that.
Are you?
If he is saying what he is alleged to have said about the wife, it should be on the Ring cam.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not on the Ring cam, your position becomes as a defense attorney, well, he deleted it. That's why it's not on there. That's why. But the problem the pastor has is what is recorded on the Ring cam, besides the fight, is as he's approaching, I'm going to break your neck.
Yeah.
Or something of that nature.
Yeah. While turning his neck.
No. Well before that.
Oh, I thought you meant like while he was on it.
Approaching, it's my understanding that it's, I'm going to break your neck. Yeah. That's not, I'm coming over to chat with you, Breland. I'm coming over to hug it out.
I just want to talk.
I just want to talk and break your freaking neck.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
It is a problem. And the Ring camera footage. So that was where my level of curiosity was on the Ring camera footage was, would you hold on to it and just let public opinion?
Franz Borghardt never leaks things.
Would you hold on to it and let public opinion be public opinion? Because public opinion is where it's going to be. You can have the pastor saying on camera, I'm going to set this whole scenario, and those who follow him will still follow him.
Right.
Those who are fervently in his corner will remain so.
And by the way, he's going to make more money off of this new body camera footage.
Well, we got to push pause one more time. We've got 1 minute till break. Before we take that break, though, I want to remind you about the folks at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com is the website. FlyBTR.com. Daily flight to D.C., y'all. Take advantage of it. In fact, if you wanted to hop on today and then come home after the 4th, go see the America 250, the Freedom 250, the ginormous party that the president's putting on. We talked with Anna Johnson about it yesterday. The fireworks show is going to be otherworldly. It is going to be something that this nation has never seen. You can take advantage of that by hitting up flybtr.com, or if you've got business in our nation's capital, want to get in, get out in no time, get home, sleep in your own bed that night, the flight at flybtr.com. It takes off at 7 o'clock every morning, comes back home same evening, so you don't even need to book a hotel room. Checking the board for this morning as far as the departures are concerned. The first flight out to Houston has already arrived. DFW and Atlanta, they're in the air right now. DC is scheduled for 7 a.m. Learn more about making your travel plans at flybtr.com.
I'm not asking for a lot. Just an 8-ball and $2 million. Or $2 million in an 8-ball. Is this all like righteous Jim Stoney? I really do want to go to one of his services. I'm not going to. I'm not going by myself, though. Somebody has to go with me.
No. And I like I've said, I've tried to contact him. I've when COVID was going on, I called him and had him scheduled for the show twice, and he big timed me both times for national news. You need to release it.
So, I see that you have in your ear a hearing aid. I am at the cusp of getting one. They are waiting. They are. It is. I cannot differentiate multiple people talking at the same time. So my hearing issue is something is going on to where I can't filter it, and it's fixable with the hearing aids. And by the way, not using hearing aids, diminished hearing leads to dementia, which I have a family history of. Yeah. But I've been told they connect Bluetooth to like devices. Is that true?
Yes, where you can talk to people like
on the phone.
Yeah, I turned it off because people look at me because they don't know you have that in unless they're looking.
Right. But you can't wear like earbuds and the hearing aids. Okay.
So I can't hear.
I ain't hating. I'm there. I'm almost there.
I can't hear high pitch.
I'm going to bring back obnoxiously big hearing aids. I'm going to bring those back. No. You okay?
No, I'm just dealing with there's people on the other side I have to deal with this shit too. And I'm just, people turn the mics off.
Is there a lot of Mary in that church? Probably not.
No.
I like a lot of Mary in my churches.
No.
A lot of statues.
Brian told me to turn them off, Keith.
No statues? Is there a cross? Is there a cross in the
There's
church?
cross, no corpus.
So there's no crucifix.
Correct.
Do they do communion?
Keith asked a good question. He says, has anyone checked to see if Spell or his church has any national oversight? I think that's my homework. That's my homework.
I think the Pentecostal church system does that. I don't know.
652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got attorney Franz Borghardt in the house, legally served. I kind of want to put a button on this to talk about the Richard Murphy thing if we can.
Sure.
But just to close it out in summation on the latest video of the pastor, you and I agree. This video is a big nothing except to stoke the flames to get things going again.
Well, you asked me earlier, could it be a hate crime? Well, probably not. But I, as a crafty prosecutor, I might try to get the slur in to show that this wasn't about something like raping the wife or whatever. This was really about him wanting to just beat the snot out of this kid, and he accomplished that.
Yeah. Well, and
I don't know if that works.
So,
but
I don't. There's.
Look,
we
let's
still
put
have to
a
find out. We still have to find out a lot about the harassment that's been built up over the years.
Brian, you're gonna start a fire. You gotta handle those flames.
Whatever.
Let's do the next topic.
Okay. Yeah. So, former LSU football player, former NFL football player, Richard Murphy. I need
2 counts vehicular homicide, 1 count vehicular injury. Vehicular homicide, while you're looking for it, is if you are in an accident while impaired or under the influence, and there is a homicide or a fatality, a death.
Yeah. I still don't have it up here. Sorry. I thought I had the page already up when we came back in. from break. So I'm kind of stumbling to get the story to set things up again. But a lot of us know the story already about this accident happened. He was impaired. He was speeding. He was, of course, everybody innocent until proven guilty. Oh, there it is right there. Former LSU and NFL running back on Tuesday was booked in the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on vehicular homicide charges stemming from a Baton Rouge crash that killed 2 people and sent 2 others to the hospital in critical condition. Richard Murphy was booked in the parish jail. You gave the counts already, the charges already. Bond set at $107,000. He's doing traffic court on August 27th. Another court date on my anniversary on September 22nd. The first question I have, though, is why does it take so long to get someone behind bars, to get someone booked when, like, why did he not go to jail from the scene?
So you also made a comment in the beginning of the show about him turning himself in.
Yeah.
You use the word leisurely or?
Yes.
All right. So
at his leisure.
It may have been that he didn't get arrested at the scene because they may not have had the blood work results.
Okay.
They may not have had enough to arrest him at the scene. He may have had to go to the hospital as a result of the accident, and that may be why they didn't arrest him at the scene. They maybe didn't arrest him at the scene because he's a former NFL football player.
That's the part I want to know about.
I mean, these are all possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. I will push back on you about people turning themselves in with arrest warrants. We want that to happen. We want police to have people delivered. Only because it does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it officer safety is enhanced by that, right?
Oh, yeah. No, executing warrants, no-knock warrants, all these things lead to more violence. They absolutely do.
Right.
Well, the no-knock especially. But the accident happened on June 14th, Franz.
Right.
So we're talking a full 2 weeks worth here.
Right.
Of just different treatment.
So by not being arrested on scene, it's still under investigation. Or again, he may have been, I don't know. I don't know if he was at the hospital or whatever. So they don't, by the way, law enforcement doesn't tell you, hey, Brian, we're probably going to get an arrest warrant in a week. What law enforcement does is they'll either call you, Brian, we have an arrest warrant, or they'll just come scoop you.
Yeah.
What I suspect happened was his attorney, don't know. I suspect his attorney was in communication with the detective when they got an arrest warrant. The detective told the attorney, and the attorney said, well, let's coordinate turning him in, and he'll turn himself in on X day. Okay. If your issue is also, wait. What do you mean there's like a negotiation where you can like turn yourself in when you want to turn yourself in? Well, yeah. Sometimes you're told by the detectives, hey, look, Monday's not going to work for me because I'm not on shift and I'm off. What, can you turn yourself in on Tuesday? That is the thing. That is the thing.
By the way, I'm being told that he went to the hospital because he refused to take a breathalyzer.
Well, that's okay. He has a right to not take a breathalyzer. Okay. Blood draw is much more reliable.
Yeah. No,
so,
I'm with you on that front. It's still 2 weeks seems egregious.
What seems less egregious? 1 week? A couple days?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something where you don't have turnaround.
Are you suggesting that he got treated differently because of who he is?
Possibly.
Or was?
Possibly. Okay. That does not seem out of the question to me. It's 2 weeks feels like a really, really long time.
Well,
those people died on the scene.
Right.
They didn't get to check themselves in 2 weeks later.
Well, and let's also point out.
They didn't get to die at their earliest.
I would join your feelings if it were, this is a crime of violence. However, it's not a crime of violence as if he pulled out a gun and shot some people. I would want to look at his record. The bond, by the way, the bond's an appropriate bond for the charges.
No question on that.
And he should be, theoretically, he should be able to make bond.
Yeah.
I mean, so okay. 2 weeks. Okay. I'm not gonna die on that hill for this one. I turned a defendant in yesterday. I tried to turn her in last week. The officer was off duty, and we negotiated a Monday, Tuesday-ish turn. Today's Wednesday. We negotiated Tuesday turn in. Fun fact for the listeners and viewers: we generally like to turn our clients in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because there's things that can go wrong in the booking process, and you're trying to stop your client from having to wait the weekend to get a bond set. I didn't say bond out. I said bond set.
Right.
If I turn my client in on Monday or Tuesday, odds are the bond can get set the same day. And look, the bond got set yesterday when I turned my client in, and she is still in jail because the parish prison is slow in processing. So I know that's not something that you and society is concerned about, but presume with the presumption of innocence,
sure.
So, but look, he got arrested.
Yeah.
He got booked a bond. I mean, things happen.
Okay. Just when it comes to the law, at your earliest convenience doesn't normally enter most people's equations. We're straight up out of time, though. He's attorney Franz Borghardt. We do legally serve about this time every week. Always appreciate it, brother.
Yep.
Hour 2 is next.
I felt like you were very well behaved today.
Yes.
Hot dogs.
So
I'm guessing she doesn't like me anyway. So.
Oh. So tell the wife. Yeah. 7:05. Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. Starting off the 7 o'clock hour at 79 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. I got to veto it, man. No rain. Sorry. No rain today. We can't have it. I know it's hot. I know we're a little overdue. But, man, my grass looks like one of those just like it's a scene from Jumanji.
Oh, yeah.
My grass is awful right now, and I'm scheduled to get cut today. So, I mean, how about rain this evening? Can we pencil that in?
Right.
Push it back till about 4 or 5 o'clock, and we get a nice little cool-off period right there. You know, one of those ones where the steam is coming up off the street. That's what it's gonna.
Yeah.
That's what today's rain's gonna be. One of those steamers coming off. You know.
Or you could be like my neighbor. He mows nighttime. He mows when the rain's falling down. All sorts of. I'll watch him sometime, and I'm like, sir.
No, so what my problem is that like I have horrible allergies, so I have to have I have someone else cut my lawn, or else I'm down for 3 days. It's ridiculous.
I get it.
So disappointing, but it's like I'm almost to the point where I do have a lawnmower and I might have to break it up. So what are we doing? We got to get the top stories and trending. Let's go. Air Products is pulling out. The industrial gas company said they are not proceeding with their Louisiana Clean Energy Complex project to build a carbon sequestration pipeline running from New Orleans through southeast Louisiana and ending up in Texas City, Texas, citing financial reasons on the over $4 billion project for their fold. There's a lot more behind this that we're going to get to either later today or tomorrow. But by the way, 170 jobs at a total annual salary of $16 million packs up and leaves with it. Former LSU and NFL running back Richard Murphy was booked in East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on vehicular homicide charges yesterday, stemming from a crash that killed 94-year-old Robert Tarver and 69-year-old Carla Tarver, sent 2 others to the hospital. Murphy was booked into the parish jail on 2 counts of vehicular homicide, as well as 1 count of first-degree vehicular injury, operating while impaired, driving while license is suspended, and reckless operation of a vehicle. The license was suspended was part of the ones that I'm supposed to ask Franz about as part of that equation. Jack Monisset, former secretary for the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries and a state rep before that, who earlier this year pleaded guilty to playing a role in a kickback scheme involving a statewide department contract, which, by the way, allegedly netted him more than $120,000. He's been sentenced to more than 2 years in federal prison. New body camera footage from the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office deputies shows Tony Spell calling his neighbor's son a slur, copping to the beatdown from last week, and threatening a man 2 days after his arrest. We broke this down extensively and legally served. Baton Rouge has lost a legend, and baseball has lost an ambassador. Former Southern University baseball coach Roger Cador has died at the age of 74. Cador, of course, played baseball and basketball for the Jags back in the early 70s. He was the head coach of Southern baseball from, I believe, 1985 to 2017. Anyone who ever came in contact with Roger Cador was a better person for having met him. He is the absolute most genuine soul to ever walk the planet. I absolutely adore that man. He passes away at the age of 74. What you got, Breland?
Well, following a pair of devastating earthquakes that struck Venezuela last week, the Trump administration has doubled its relief commitment, and U.S. Southern Command has deployed over 300 search and rescue personnel.
Quickly closing in on 2,000 dead. There are still tens of thousands missing. More than 10,000 people have been found with injuries. Or more than 10,000 people have reported injuries and whatnot, which you kind of want that injury list to keep ticking up, because everybody who's injured isn't dead, right?
Right.
That's just because you have so many people still missing, and we're so far removed from the actual earthquakes. I mean, when they had that back-to-back, that 1-2 punch, which was it last Friday?
I feel like it was Wednesday night, early Thursday morning.
Okay, that's fair.
So we're going on a week now.
Yeah. Which that window is just about closed. Yeah.
Because you got to have food, you have to have water, and you got to realize
and
that
the injured,
right? Yes, the injured are in excruciating pain. Yeah. Oh gosh. Mm-hmm. The National Retail Federation says per person spending for Independence Day barbecue. So if you're going to be grilling this weekend, apparently it has hit $94.41 per person. That's compared to just $68.16 back in 2014.
So it's gone up by almost half over the course of a little over a decade, which I find it weird that they picked those two. Like, why base it off of a 2014 price? Why not? I don't know. 2021 was 5 years ago and post-COVID. That would give it, well, not post-COVID, but during COVID. That would give us kind of a more approximate, like, then to now scenario. 2014 seems like a really random year to me. But over the course of it, roughly a decade, to increase by just about 50% is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And I'm with you. Why would they go back? So maybe 2016, if you want to do a 10
that would
year?
make an exact decade, yeah.
Yes. That's just... We knew our beef price went up. We knew chicken went up. We know our groceries in the store went up. But when you see a number like this, you're thinking, whoa.
Oh, it's very stark. It's very stark. My wife and I were having this conversation yesterday about just auto repairs is what we were talking about. But how, in general, the price of everything does not scale back down with the economy. It's just everything continues to tick upward. In fact, so every Tuesday I do a hit on Corey Johnson's radio show down in New Orleans. And we were talking about that, how, okay, the price of gas is coming back down now. We're almost back down to $3 a gallon here in Baton Rouge, right? I paid $3.12 2 days ago. Or no, sorry, I paid $3.12 on Friday. Before I filled up my car before trading in.
Oh,
that was so
gosh.
stupid.
I got $2.98 at Costco.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But are the prices of every other product that you buy, all those prices went up according to gas, but don't drop according to gas. And that's,
you bring up a good point. So is our beef going to go back down?
It's supposed to.
Yeah,
and
it's
not
still
just
sky
it's not
high
just
for me.
beef, it's literally everything.
Yeah.
So
I say beef because we eat a lot of it, but yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's because it's jam-packed with protein and iron and 10 vitamins and nutrients. And I'm a little bit bummed that we're not going to have a Foodie Friday this week because we're taking off.
I know.
Shout out Louisiana Beef Industry Council. By the way, if you're prepping for your 4th of July, hit up beefandswitsfordinner.com. Grab yourself a recipe or two that you might not have tried before. Kebabs.
Yeah, kebabs. Or throw some steaks on the grill.
Well, yeah, you go with a sirloin and a kebab, and you're going to come out impressed.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to try it.
If you know what you're doing.
All right, speaking of food, because, I mean, if you're from the Bayou region, but you can.
No, this is going to be very poorly received. Okay,
proceed. Okay, all right. We've got another shark alligator roll story for you. This one coming from Florida. A Florida woman was bitten and killed by an alligator while swimming in a river. Here's the thing. She was the third attack on the river in 7 days.
After attack number 1, they should probably close down that area if you haven't captured the alligator.
And attack number 2, all right, now we really have to shut it down.
Right.
Or you're going to wait until a third person gets bitten and killed?
Yeah. I mean, this is how. I don't understand how. It's shut down the river. We've had multiple in under a week. At a certain point, though, like, you got to wonder if that woman was thinking, well, I mean, that alligator's already had 2 other people. He's got to be full.
Right.
Not right.
No, well, no. The thing, seriously, how many humans can an alligator eat? I'm thinking maybe like her, and that's why she got it, or maybe he swam away by now.
So I don't think the alligator actually ate her. I think it bit her, and she passed. Okay. I don't think she was actual like gone food.
Yeah.
Okay. But
this is so
you know
horrible.
what? Put down the shovel. We're digging ourselves way too deep in a hole. It's 7:14 to Talk 107.3 FM. I have a live read scheduled right here that I'm not going to get to because I don't think they want their names associated with this garbage.
Is it Neurojust?
No, it's not Neurojust. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Derek Babcock with the State Republican Party has some pretty big news. Unless you were listening to the Moon Griffon show yesterday where they spoiled it, we'll have him next.
Miss Debbie has a point. Maybe there's a nest nearby. Miss Debbie, maybe there's a nest nearby. I didn't think about that.
Could be.
Am I calling Derek?
He's supposed to call us. He had the hotline number. I don't know why we can't get it fixed. By the way, can I have the studio at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, I'll be well done by then.
Hanny's coming in to record some segments for their show because the phones on 104.5 are completely out. Yeah.
We're just having a phone issue.
It's beyond me. Not my pig, not my farm. .716 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Man, you heard about that Air Product story. That's kind of a bummer. I say kind of a bummer. It's a big bummer. 170 jobs were in line there with a total salary of just shy of $16 million a year. That pumps a lot into a local economy. That's a pretty big hit for Ascension Parish. It's a shame that carbon capture has to be so controversial when in actuality it's a very simple thing. It's gotten hyper politicized. And there's oftentimes, the fear gets going faster than the truth on things like this, which is why, by the way, ExxonMobil built out a website for us. As we're moving into the future, carbon capture and storage, carbon capture and usage is going to be, do what? I don't have his number. Carbon capture, storage, and usage is going to be a regular part of the equation when it comes to energy dominance for America and for Louisiana. So the good folks at ExxonMobil, who've been doing business in our backyard for 115 years, been employing our neighbors for 115 years, tell you what, call this guy and say, I don't have him yet. My apologies, y'all. We're lining up our next guest in real time. ExxonMobil's been doing business in our backyard for 115 years, employing our neighbors and, fueling the world, right? Well, as carbon capture and carbon usage and carbon storage becomes a bigger part of that equation, ExxonMobil wants to make sure that the information that you need is out there. They've built out a website for you, aboutlaccs.com. Aboutlaccs.com. Visit the website, bump around a little bit, ask the questions that you need to ask, get the answers that you need as well, because this is going to be a long-term play here. It's going to be a part of the overall equation, and it's going to be needed for us to stay on top. Aboutlaccs.com. We're going to have the state Republican Party on with us in just a little bit. It's either going to be Derek Babcock or Corey Dennis. Not sure which just yet. We're slated to have Derek on. He was on with Moon Griffon yesterday and was supposed to be back on the hotline this morning, but we might be having some phone number issues. So the long and the short of it is, okay. Then we're about a minute away from having that. The state Republican Party has been on an uptick for the last generation, really. If you grew up in Louisiana, you probably grew up where your parents voted Democrat. I'm sorry, where your parents were registered Democrats but voted Republican more often than not. And then, if you're under, let's say you're under the age of 50, you probably registered as a Republican, but your parents never officially flipped parties. Well, as the state has grown, or as the state has moved, we have seen now the eclipse of those numbers officially. We have Derek or Corey? All right, Derek Babcock. Hey, Derek, man, thanks for hopping on board. Sorry about the phone number issue. It's just something we've been battling with regularly. I appreciate you pivoting with us, man. Okay, I know you broke the news on Moon Show yesterday, or I should say Moon spoiled the news before you could break it. But give it to us, man. What's the big news?
Man, so we're excited to announce that for the first time in Louisiana history, Republicans finally outnumber Democrats in voter registration. So this is look, it's been a long time coming. This is for the last 20 years. I mean, it's every month we've gained on them. They've lost. We've increased our numbers, and so again, this is the margin is thin, but the trend is not, and so. I certainly see this continuing, and we'll continue to widen that gap and increase our majority. But it's history, man. It's the first time in Louisiana history that the Republicans have outnumbered Democrats. So we're pretty excited about it. Of course, it's happening right now at an exciting time where we're celebrating our 250th birthday too for our country. So pretty excited to have this happen.
No, it is a big deal. It is a big deal to see that number flip right there. To make the state officially red. Although when it comes to, what you see play out of the polls, we've unofficially been, and we, meaning I'm a Republican too, we've unofficially been a majority for a little while now. It's been trending in that direction. Are we able to break down the numbers to tell where the difference came from? For example, have we seen party flips? Have we seen just a previous generation? I don't want to put it this way, but, is there any attrition from a previous generation dying off? Or as more new Republicans turn 18, the registrations are strong on that front. Do we know where the flip came from?
So that's something we look at. And, I mean, it's a combination of all of that. So, we will look. And so in a given month, we may gain 200 registrations on the Democrats, but we may net 50 more than we had the previous month or something. And that number changes. And so it is a combination of people who have moved away, people who have passed, and then, of course, new registrations and party changes. So it is a combination of all that. But again, it's been consistently, they've been declining each month and we've been increasing. And we could talk about why, too, some of those numbers have changed with the party change and all that. But do we have some time?
Yeah, no, we got a good 8 minutes here, man. So let's talk about that with the people moving away. And I guess, I'm a Republican, so I run in Republican circles. So I know when my friends move out of the state, when my friends move to Texas for a job or Tennessee for a job, you could feel it. I know it's anecdotal, but you're like, well, there goes another Republican family. I mean, are we seeing more Democrats leaving than Republicans?
I don't know that it's more Democrats leaving than Republicans. I think a lot of what it is people talk about, well, the differences in the party ideas and priorities and policies just continue to get further and further apart. And, I agree that's true. I think that they're kind of mistaken in assuming that both sides kind of drifted apart equally, because that's just not the case. The Republican Party has always stood for common sense, conservative values. It's really the Democrat Party that has gotten more and more, they want to say progressive. I think it's progressively worse or regressive, but more liberal. And so, when you look at the issues like crime, I mean, it's, there was a time when Democrats, they were tough on crime. Bill Clinton had his 1994 crime bill. I mean, today, we're talking about defunding the police and soft on crime DAs, and they've got this sort of revolving door in justice. We're putting criminals back out on the streets. And so, of course, Republicans were tough on crime. I mean, that was Jeff Landry, his first special session when he was elected governor was a crime session.
Yes,
and so, we've always been tough on crime. When you talk about borders, Clinton, even Obama, at one time they were all about border enforcement. And now today, of course, the Democrats are talking about sanctuary cities, and they're opposing immigration reforms that Republicans are trying to do. So again, and look, we could go on to free speech, where obviously liberals are talking about cancel culture and censorship, and education. Of course, Republicans want to keep parental involvement in education and keep it to the core issues of reading, writing, arithmetic, whereas the Democrats want to try to put their agendas into the curriculum. And so it's just, again, the Democrats have drifted. And so I think a lot of the reason for the Democrats that have changed their party is that their party has left them. And that's a lot of them that I've talked to when I've asked, what inspired you to make the change? And that was it. And, Louisiana, even though we've been majority Democrat, obviously we vote very red.
Right.
And I mean, we've voted Republican in the last president since 2000. We've voted Republican on presidential elections, every election since 2000. And so we've been a very red state. It's just that, the registration numbers was kind of the last piece to catch up. And so now we have, and I think you've got a lot of these sort of generation Democrats where, Grandpa was a Democrat, my dad was a Democrat, I registered Democrat, and they've gotten sick of what Democrat policies have done to our country and to our state. And so they've decided to, even though they were maybe voting Republican, they finally decided to go ahead and align themselves with the Republican Party and change that registration.
We're talking with Derek Babcock, heads up the Republican Party in the state of Louisiana. Derek, I want to ask you about how do we maintain this now, or I should say grow the lead a little bit and maintain it, because there's on one side party unity and there's the other side being quote unquote in lockstep. And I think one of the problems or one of the lagging indicators there with people flipping to Republican Party is that as a Republican, part of what I believe is in my own independence. As a Republican, part of what I believe is in my own self-reliance. Now, that does not jive well with being in lockstep with a party 24/7, 100% of the time. How, as a party, do we continue to move forward while knowing full well that there's times that even within the party, we're going to disagree as adults?
Yeah, well, and look, unity is something that I push real hard with our state central committee, and then of course try to push that out to the local committees, RPEX, Republican Women, those things. And just because we disagree doesn't mean we're divided. We're never going to agree on everything. Right. And that's one of my challenges with I'm trying to work closely with our legislature and obviously the different groups around the state. And I have a friend of mine told me, he said, we all go to the Capitol wanting to do the right thing. We just don't always agree on what the right thing is. And right. I agree with that. I think we take it a little step further and say, even when we do agree on what the right thing is, we don't always agree on how to do it.
Right.
And so, it's just understanding that, differences are okay. We need to have some respectful debate and discourse over these different ideas. And differences don't mean we're divided. And so, as long as we agree on the majority of the issues and, we can get along, we can work together and it's okay to, again, just have some differences, but I do think aligning with a party that represents the values that are important to you 100%. Is important. And
well,
so,
but
yeah.
I bring up that question so early. We've only got 2 minutes left in this segment. We're going to get you back on right after the fourth to pick up the conversation because there's so much more to be had. But I bring up that part very early on because we know this fall we're going to face that directly. When you're coming out of Republican primary for the Senate race, you have some very deep felt feelings about candidates one way or the other. So we've got 4 months to talk it through and say, just because we disagree doesn't mean we're on opposite sides. Right.
And, from our perspective, I mean, the first priority is to elect a Republican. Right. And, obviously there's multiple candidates and people have their candidate of choice. But at the end of the day, and of course, we had our party primary. And so we have a candidate that has been chosen by the voters. And so now we need to get behind Julia Letlow to make sure we keep this Senate seat. And I don't want people to take it for granted that we're going to win the Senate seat back. We've got to get out. We've got to vote. We've got to support our candidate now. And so I just hope that, it's summertime, the party primary is over. Everybody can take a minute, catch their breath, and then let's get back together and figure out how to get everybody back together on the same page and make sure we win this in November.
And that's the conversation I want to have at greater length next time we have you on, because it's an important conversation for us as Republicans to be a little introspective and walk through it before it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And And that's it's kind of the part of being a Republican, man, is you're able to self-evaluate along the way. In the meanwhile, I appreciate you hopping on board. Big news, man. We are officially red. He's Derek Babcock. Derek Babcock, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always. Yep. We got news, traffic, weather coming your way. Keeping it with the Republican Party, but we're going national and we're talking Supreme Court next. Whew. Can we just take a 4-day weekend and not do a show tomorrow and just it's
Okay, be like, Bob, we're not coming tomorrow.
problem is I've already got the show lined up. Bigger problem is I don't have Monday's show lined up. I know. Good morning, Christy. I don't even know if she's still in this morning. She's well on her way to work by now. Good morning, Christy, anyway. Do you want to throw together one more reel on Spell, mixing it with the footage that was already out there? Yeah.
I'm gonna use the lawnmower footage, and I'm gonna find a good.
Cut with me and Franz?
Yeah. Where y'all talked about like really good. Probably the part where. Okay, he was saying something like right when you opened up the question, y'all started being around, and he said, he was just about to start talking about the law ordinance and all that, and you were like, "No, I'm talking like, can he legally do it, that part?" Yeah, like, I'm gonna find the meat of that.
Yeah,
maybe, or do you find another?
I think when he's antagonizing, saying he's actually laying out a threat for another.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find that part. That is that early. That is early on, ain't it? I think it was. I normally write it down, but like if I see here's something meaty, I'll write down the timestamp. I'll find it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. It was the middle segment though.
So the middle, the longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 35 to 47 segment.
Let me do that. Let me write that. 35-ish. Because for whatever reason, people love Tony Spell. They like drama. Yeah. Good morning, KC. Talk 107.3. Hey, yes, ma'am. Okay, we're coming out of commercial. We'll be coming to you in a minute, okay? Yes, ma'am. I'll drop you on hold.
Oh, by the way, kill my mic because I. But that's kind of the overall problem, though, is are you adapting to the church? Are you willing to put yourself lower than or are you saying, no, I'm the most important thing, so the church has to adapt to me? And there's a level of humility there when it comes to, even doctrine and dogma you don't understand is you have the humility to say, okay, for 2,000 years, this church has existed from the time that Jesus told Peter, upon this rock, I'll build my church. Like somewhere along the way, somebody was smarter than me and put this crap together. And that is to be able to have that humility as opposed to saying, nope. I'm taking my ball and going home. Right. .737 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We are, we're heavy political today. We're heavy Republican today, to be sure.
Tony Spell.
No. That's not political. That's we just came from Derek Babcock, and now we're moving over to Casey Cresbie, from the RNC, I believe she's with the RNC. Casey Cresbie's on with us to talk a little bit about one of the Supreme Court rulings that came down yesterday that might be more important than the headlines gave it. I know there was a lot of controversy coming down yesterday, but this one, I don't want it to slip under the radar. Casey, welcome to Talk 107.3. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
No, glad to have you on. Let's talk. And you are treasurer for the RNC, right?
No, I'm the co-chair, but I am the former treasurer. So I hold both titles. Yeah, former treasurer, yes.
Well, because we're going to be talking about money, which is why you're the right person to lean on here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so one of the rulings that came down from the Supreme Court was the NRSC versus FEC victory. This directly affects how much money can be given to campaigns. First of all, break down the ruling for us and what it means.
Yeah, so the Supreme Court ruled in favor of no limitations on how much political parties can spend on their candidates during campaigns. And I have to tell you, the Republican National Committee, we have been planning for this since early last year. We have been raising money like crazy. We have conserved our money, and we are going to be ready to spend heavily on ads in the midterms in tandem with our federal candidates, because we'll be getting those lower TV rates. And so while we have been planning for this, the Democrats are in debt, severe debt. And so it positions us very nicely going into these midterms.
As a party, I assume it would. Now, that being said, walk us through what it actually means for a party to be able to spend money on candidates. Break down the difference between a donation to a private donation to a candidate, a PAC representing a candidate, and a party backing a candidate. Walk us through that hierarchy there.
Well, so basically with the waterfall money, it makes our money more valuable to spending on behalf of the candidates because of the rates that we will get spending on their behalf, and we can get higher contribution limits. And so in a nutshell, it just maximizes our money. I mean, that's the simplest way I can really explain it, and gives us the ability now to coordinate and spend on behalf of those federal candidates. So this is a huge ruling, and I'm glad that you're highlighting it because, again, we have been planning for this since last year. And, the Democrats have a history of lighting money on fire. I mean, if you even look at the 2024 election, Kamala raised $1 billion with a B dollars. And I can tell you as treasurer at the time, we worked with less, but we were very efficient on how we spent our money. And if it wasn't about winning, we just weren't spending our money. And so while they burn through money, we have been very disciplined on how we spend our investor money. And it's all about winning. And this just is another fantastic tool and huge victory for us to be able to spend on our candidates' behalf and maximize not only the money that we have in the bank, but to get those lower rates. So it truly was a huge decision for us yesterday.
Casey Cresbie is our guest. We're talking about the Supreme Court decision that came down that backed some longstanding limits on campaign spending within. And no, I'm not asking just to be asking, Casey. I'm asking because this fall there's going to be a Senate seat up for grabs in Louisiana that does not have an incumbent, and at least one congressional seat that does not have an incumbent either. So this is going to be a big introduction to the populace for sure, because, you don't have the name recognition of an incumbent in either, Julia Letlow has run 2 Republican primaries so far. Now it's time to say hello to the rest of the state. In Louisiana's 6th congressional district, we've just got a brand new map here, so there's no real incumbent there either. We're going to need to be leaning on y'all a little bit this fall.
Yeah, we feel very good about Louisiana and the candidates that you all have there. I mean, Julia is an amazing lady. I've had the opportunity to be around her several times now. Her message and the Republican message, I mean, I think that's what you have to look at. The Republican message is going to resonate with the voters in Louisiana. And I think also another great thing to highlight is we're going to be having this midterm convention, the first of its kind, with President Trump in September in Texas. It was announced yesterday, and this is also going to be a huge opportunity for us to highlight President Trump's accomplishments. Largest tax cuts in U.S. history, the border secure, America safer. I mean, we're going to be able to talk about all of those things in the state of Texas leading up to these midterms, and that's first of its kind. And, certainly with the proximity to Louisiana and Texas, I mean, it's going to be a great opportunity for Americans all across the country to hear the message of President Trump's accomplishments and the fact he's the best messenger we've had in the Republican Party ever.
Debating Ronald Reagan right now.
Well,
come on, that's a 1-2 punch right there.
1-2 punch. He a showmanship. It's going to be a wonderful event, and we are certainly excited about President Trump doing this and the ability of the Republican National Committee to change their rules. And that's what having money and conserving your money allows us to do, is to get out and get our message out leading up into these midterms, and particularly in districts, like you said, where there's open seats. We have 2 in Kentucky. We're in a similar situation where we have a U.S. Senate seat, and my home state is Kentucky, and a congressional seat that's open. And so, we're in the same situation in a pretty red state here in Kentucky. And so being able to have the ability to get this message out at a national level and to discuss the accomplishments. Again, the Dems are in complete chaos. They're in disarray. They're dysfunctional. Look at what happened last night with the primary in Colorado. I mean, I find it hard to believe. I've been to Louisiana now several times as co-chair, and I find it hard to believe the great people of Louisiana are going to fall for this, DSA messaging from the Democrats.
No, I don't think so either. I'm not one that walks away until you play till the whistle, right? I mean, it's everything's a sports analogy with me, Casey. I guess I should make it a basketball analogy since you went to University of Kentucky and like prime Rick Pitino days at that. We got Casey Cresbie on with us, co-chair of the RNC, former treasurer of the RNC, and we were talking money. One of the big things, getting away from the money though, is talk about the importance of, regardless of the Supreme Court decision, you can have all the messaging you want, but you've got to have the right message.
Yeah, and we believe we have the right message. I mean, when as I travel the country, the American people, I mean, it's pretty simple. They want to have opportunities with jobs in their careers and to be financially stable. They want to feel safe in their communities. And, and President Trump has just done that. I mean, we've had the largest tax cut in U.S. history, and we have a story to tell there going into these midterms because every single Democrat voted against that tax cut. And so there's something that we're going to be able to highlight. 0 border crossings in a year. Crime rates are down everywhere. I mean, even overdose deaths are down by 14% in 2025. Yep. I mean, the president is putting the American people first. He said exactly what he was going to do during the campaign, and he has done it. And so we believe we have a great message. The message is on our side. And the results are on our side from President Trump under his administration. And we're going to be able to go out and tell this story and have the money to tell the story going into these midterms. And so you put those things together and it's a recipe for success.
Want to ask about the possibility of saturation. So one of the things that comes along with this, if you could spend unlimited dollars, you can really oversaturate the market. Is there a worry that can happen?
No, listen. You hear about that from people who are really in tune with things, and yeah, you get people who get kind of tired of hearing things. But the bottom line is, people need to get out and vote, and we wouldn't have to saturate if we felt confident that people were getting out and voting. And these midterms are too crucial and too important. So we feel like we can't get our message out enough to drive those particularly low to mid propensity voters out. And and again, going back to making sure that we are very good with our dollars, is we have invested a ton of money in making sure that we have the best data out there so that we can model it to make sure that we are going after the low to mid propensity voters. We win elections when we're able to get them out and our message resonates with them. And then, of course, protecting the vote with election integrity. We'll stop at no cost to make sure that the vote is protected. And so with those winning activities coming out of the Republican National Committee, coupled with the message, again, we feel very confident about where we are. And it's one of those things where people need to hear our message. And because certainly we need them to get to the polls and vote for common sense versus this nonsense on the Democrat side.
Last one, and I ask you the saturation question to set up this question, because we are looking at more than a handful of races where, hotly contested is going to be an understatement. I don't know if I'd call Louisiana hotly contested, but contested will be in the play there. You mentioned Kentucky. I know we, as a party, we want to get Georgia back. Not Tennessee, Texas might be in question. We know there's a question North Carolina, Ohio, and maybe even Maine. So I ask you about saturation to ask you the converse question is about making sure everything's evenly spread to cover as many seats as possible.
Yeah, we've got it down. We know where we're going to win these midterms. We have identified the districts we need to be in. And the beautiful thing is, too, we can pivot very quickly if we need to. That's why we invest large amounts in our data to make sure that we're able to pivot if necessary. But right now, and what a lot of people don't realize, and it's hard because, in a state like mine, Kentucky, we are expected to win.
Right.
We know here it feels like a dogfight, and it's, and you're in the middle of the combat in my home state and some of the others that you mentioned. But we know in some of these other states where we're going to have to be spending our resources to make sure that we are helping those candidates, because that's where we win these midterms. And it's a handful of seats. And when you break it down like that, and then you break down the messaging, the messenger with President Trump, the accomplishments that we have, our cash on hand, again, we feel very confident about our position going into these midterms.
She is Casey Cresbie, co-chair of the RNC. Appreciate a couple minutes this morning breaking it down.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You do the same. We got 1 minute before we hit your money now. Let me tell you about the folks over at Guarantee Health. Let me tell you about Guarantee Health Solutions itself, by the way. If you've ever been through a scenario with a family member who has battled an illness that's, a lot more than a one visit to the hospital sort of thing, it can get, A, really expensive, but B, very transactional and borderline cold. It runs the risk of doing that, where as a patient, you become more of your paperwork than you as a person. That's how Guarantee Health Solutions came to be. Rachel Fricke's the founder of Guarantee Health Solutions, and walked through this with a relative and said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a warmer way. There's got to be better bedside manner. And there's got to be a way to take that care, that concierge level care, and make sure it maximizes business as well. And she's found that way. If you want to learn more, visit guaranteehealth.com, guaranteehealth.com. If you run a medical office of any size or scope, I highly recommend visiting guaranteehealth.com. Boo-doo, boop, boo-doo, boop.
Oh, somebody knows Juan something. He was teaching a land tech class that I did yesterday.
Who?
Juan.
Andrew Kane?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's like, tell Brian I say hello.
Absolutely.
He is smart.
Oh, yeah. Whole family is.
Because, I'm taking a lot of the AI classes right now, the land tech, because to be quicker at my production assistant crap that I do for you.
Uh-huh.
I needed something to upload an episode, transcribe it, give me readability, SEO friendly. I need something all in one. And he's like, oh, Google Gemini can do that. Make a gem. And I'm like,
Okay.
because here I am like putting it in.
Moving it from one thing to the other, back to the other.
He's
Yeah.
like, no, you don't need to be making different programs. And so like he was telling me everything that Google Gemini can do, and I'm like, holy shit.
.755 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. So UNO is now LSUNO. We're going to talk about that in just a quick second. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust. Neurojust.com is the website. Got to go by there on Monday. Actually, Breland and I both went by there on Monday. I got to test drive the TMS therapy and really get a feel for what it is. I've always believed in the people at Neurojust. Jordan Carter, the whole crew over there, believe very, very strongly in mental health and helping getting people back where they need to be. And it's their belief that has me on board. The science behind it is fantastic as well. and the theories and methods behind it with, thinking of it as physical therapy for the brain. If you break your leg and take a whole bunch of ibuprofen, you might not feel your leg that bad, but you will still have a broken leg. Same thing with antidepressants. And the way that they attack the problem differently, the way that they attack the problem for a longer term solution, a non-invasive solution, an FDA approved solution, the way they go about that I've always been on board with. But the one thing I was never able to answer was, hey, what does it feel like? So I went over there on Monday and we actually did the TMS therapy on me. And I got to tell you, it feels simply like someone just tapping on your head. That's it. I mean, it's just that simple. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't sting. It doesn't pinch. It doesn't do anything. It's just tapping on your head for a minute. And it just that simple. By the way, from the moment you walk through the front door, I would think of it more like a spa treatment, really. The vibe is nice and mellow. Everything in there is calm and inviting. Everything about the entire process. And I know I'm going over 60. Shut up. Don't give me that look.
I'm just saying the same thing. The ladies were wonderful right when I walked in, so polite.
Yeah. It's a place that makes you, success begets success. And oftentimes, and if you want to succeed towards a goal, you have to want that goal. What they do at NeuroJust, if you're battling anxiety or depression, what they're doing over there, the way they've got the whole thing set up, you want it when you walk through the front door. You want to cross that finish line. You want to feel better. And like I said, everything that they're doing is just firing on all cylinders. It was really cool to sit in the chair and walk through the process, if just for a couple of minutes, so that I could tell you firsthand. That's it. It's just that simple. If you want to learn more, visit neurojust.com. Grab their phone number there. They're located off of Jefferson, Bluebonnet. Neurojust.com. The University of New Orleans is now LSU. It's part of the system, LSU system, as of today, which it's just going to be known as LSU New Orleans. University officials believe the LSU brand can help return the school to being a research and workforce engine. You heard about this in our news at the bottom of the hour. Our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network have picked up on the story, or running with the story, I should say. Now, that return to research and workforce engine starts with boosting enrollment. And Interim Chancellor Jeanette Weiland says tuition rates, they're affordable, and that'll help attract more students. Cut 4.
I mean, we look at our tuition rates compared to the entire state, the public institutions at least. We don't even want to go there with the privates. They're so expensive. And then even nationally, we're competitive on that lane.
Now, before Katrina, UNO had an enrollment of 17,000. It's down to 5,000. And they're pushing for an enrollment of 6,000 this fall. Weiland says their recruiting efforts are not just in Louisiana, but they're looking to attract out-of-state students, and they believe the campus has a lot to offer. Cut 5.
Again, back to the price point, we're competitive. We are in an urban city that, for lack of better words, is just cool. I mean, we've got culture, we've got professional sports teams. I mean, we have everything here.
Weiland says the quality of education is legit as well. Cut 6.
Our professors are phenomenal instructors. Our professors are earning highly competitive national research grants, and our undergrads get to experience the research part of learning as well.
The thing that I'm looking for here is the nature of how the universities have evolved over time. It's like, why didn't UNO ever fully recover after Katrina? Or why did UNO get so decimated after Katrina? Well, I mean, TOPS plays a role in that. If you can go to the big campus for LSU, why wouldn't you? Athletic programs have played a role in that as well, but also just not marketing the school the way it could have been. I'm curious to see where LSU UNO is going to go.
Now, a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
No big problems, spots if you're traveling into and out of the Baton Rouge area. That said, we do have a pretty good amount of I-12 delay, totaling a 24-minute drive from Newton to the 10-12 split. West on that 10 Highland Bridge, 14 minutes there. But the main thing is we are still free of any real problem spots into and out of the area, at least for the moment. I'm ready to know.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life from the No SDS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core, so you can work from anywhere. Now from $699 with exclusive student pricing from $599. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
Look fresh, feel fierce, toss lasers, typing, and more at Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. Schedule now at myuniqueaesthetics.com.
Talk 107.3 Weather.
Main weather headline is switching from the heat to storms. Now, it'll still be plenty warm today before we do see any storms arriving, as we do have another heat advisory issued. Feels like temperatures up to 108 degrees will be possible. And then into the afternoon and evening, this is when numerous storms are going to fire around southeastern Louisiana. Some of these storms will be capable of heavy rain, even some gusty winds and low blast locations. I'm meteorologist Baylor Rogers with your storm station forecast. Happy New Year's Eve, Channel 2.
We're not done yet. Sneakers. Hour 3 of Mornings with Brian Haldane. Focus hatchback with a lot of energy. How good we want that starts now.
806, Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, Breland producing, starting off the 8 o'clock hour at 82 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge, though it feels like 89. Going to be another hot one today before it becomes a wet one today. We are expecting rain later on. You heard the forecast right there. Broadcasting live from the 180 Pro studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider. They are your IT partner. Going to tell you all about that in just a little bit. David Cresson from the Louisiana Chemistry Association is on board this hour, as is Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House. I asked Newt, the interview's right in the can, so I can tell you this. I asked Newt, I was like, do I still call you Speaker? Do I call you a former Speaker? He says, call me Newt. So we'll have Newt Gingrich later on. He hosts a podcast called Newt's World. And this month, or last month and this month, he's been dedicating that podcast to America 250. That's what we're going to talk about with Newt Gingrich. Right now, though, this day in history.
All right, Brian, I thought this was a fun little nugget to America history. So as you know, the United States Postal Service this year, they're doing the semi-quincentennial America 250 postal stamps.
Yeah.
But way back in the year 1847, the U.S. Post Office issued its first general postage stamps, a 5-cent stamp featuring Benjamin Franklin and a 10-cent stamp featuring George Washington.
No kidding.
I thought that was cool.
Awesome.
Yep. In 1863, the Battle of Gettysburg, a 3-day battle of the American Civil War, began in Pennsylvania on this day in history.
Mm-hmm.
In 1867, known as Canada Day, the British North America Act took effect, establishing Canada as a self-governing dominion of Great Britain.
Yeah. How about that?
It's also our national day today as well. In 1963, zip codes were established. Now, that's pretty cool. The U.S. Post Office officially inaugurated the 5-digit zip code system. Before that, Brian, what were they? Did we just not have?
No, I'm sending a letter to, I'm sending a letter to Detroit, Michigan. You just put Detroit, Michigan.
Gotcha.
And then you have the address from there.
Cool.
You have to break it down by,
numbers and 5-digit numbers. And all right, jumping way ahead to the year 1997. Yeah, Mike Tyson, he was suspended indefinitely for biting Evander Holyfield's ear during the heavyweight title fight that happened days earlier. And honestly, look, the real tragedy here is that Mike Tyson did not get to sponsor a line of beef jerky immediately after this.
Oh,
I know, he should have something.
Yeah.
2015 U.S.-Cuba relations following over 50 years of hostility. The U.S. and Cuba announced the historic restoration of diplomatic relations. Excuse me.
Okay.
And in 2024, it was that whole Trump immunity case. The U.S. Supreme Court rules ex-presidents have immunity from prosecution for all official acts.
Okay.
What else you have?
I got a couple of other things that have happened on this day. This day you had the zip codes. All right, we got that. This day in 1979, the Walkman debuted in Japan.
Oh,
yeah. Remember the old Walkman?
So I did. So was it huge in every part of the world before it hit America? Because remember, it blew up in the late 80s. I think it went
Japan and then here.
Okay.
Oh,
I had one.
I'm told by resident historian Paul Arrigo that before there was a 5-digit zip code, there was a 2-digit number zone. So yeah, we went from 2 to 5.
So it wasn't just Mella to Detroit, Michigan, number.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. 1979 Walkman debuted. 1987, for the first time ever, there was an all sports station, WFAN, debuted in New York City on this day in 1987. 24 hours of sports from WFAN. On this day in 1986, Big Trouble in Little China premiered. And on this day in 1992, we saw the premiere of A League of Their Own. There's no crying in baseball. That was this day in 1992. We're going to get you to birthdays in just a quick second. Actually, let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and start it off. Born on this day in, well, you go run down birthdays.
Okay. Princess Diana, born in 1961. Pamela Anderson, 1967. Missy Elliott, Missy, 1971. Liv Tyler, 1977. What else you got?
1945, Debbie Harry.
Yes, from Blondie.
Yep. 1908, Estee Lauder.
Oh,
yeah.
I love the perfumes.
There you
okay.
go.
Notable deaths on this day: Luther Vandross, 2005. Marlon Brando, known from The Godfather, and A Streetcar Named Desire.
Yep.
And here we go. Jimmy Swagger, notable death this day in history back in 2025.
There you go. I forgot all about that.
I forgot.
Wait, that was last year?
Yes.
That was just last year?
I got to double check that. But yes, on my notes, it says Jimmy
feel
Swagger.
Like that was longer ago.
You know, I felt like it was like right after COVID. Am I wrong?
No, I'm
gonna have to double check that.
Yeah, we'll go look that one up just to make sure. That's what it says. I'm seeing it with you, but like it feels like longer than it. Wolfman Jack died on this day in 1995, and on this day in 1860, Charles Goodyear.
Oh, he's the founder of
vulcanization.
Okay,
so,
I'm thinking Goodyear tires.
That's how we get the tires. So, yes.
We have a lot of days, national days, but the one I'm going to go with, Canada Day.
Why not?
America Zoo Day, Blink 182 Day.
Blink 182
I know.
Day.
National Postal Workers Day.
Sure.
But yeah, let's go with Canada Day.
All right, we can go with Canada Day. It is 8:12 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. 180 Pros is not your IT provider, but they can be your IT partner. Visit 180pros.com and learn more about them every single day. Cybersecurity gets more and more important, y'all. We see headlines from time to time, but we only see the headlines when the bad things happen, right? What happens when your IT partner is doing their job? Nothing. And that's the beautiful part of it. 180 Pros, 180pros.com. When you partner with 180 Pros, they base their success off of your success. And a lot of that has to do with making sure that your network stays safe, making sure that your network stays unhacked is not a word, but we'll go ahead and use it for a word. Making sure that your network remains up and running, because if you're a small business owner, you know all too well when you're down, you're not earning. You don't have the money coming in when your network goes down, and you can't afford to be in that number. So visit 180pros.com or give them a call. 330-2200 for 180 Pros. Oh.
Do we have anything lined up besides me for America 250? Like, are we going ahead with something America 250?
Not really. No, I did one yesterday. Anna Johnson was at the state fair thing. Why, are you looking to do a reel?
Yeah.
Anna shared with me that instead of the normal 8,000 units for fireworks, they're going 800,000 this year. So, yeah.
That'd be cool. Was that in the beginning of her interview? If you can remember, or toward the end? I'll dig.
I don't remember.
And then what I'll do is I'll save that reel, and even though we're off the show on Friday, that'll give us content.
Yeah.
For Facebook. Let me do that.
Yeah.
Let me say schedule Anna for Friday. She was in studio. No, she was not.
She was in Washington, D.C. It's 8:15. It's Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We're going to hit up the hotline real quick, talk with David Cresson from the Louisiana Chemistry Association. How are you, man?
Hey, how are you, Brian? Good to be with you.
No, glad to have you on here. Obviously, there were things we wanted to talk about, but we kind of have to pivot the conversation to start things off after yesterday's news. As the head of the Louisiana Chemistry Association, give me your takeaway from Air Products pulling out yesterday.
Well, it's just unfortunate news for the state, Brian. It's unfortunate news for Ascension Parish and the parishes that are in the zone where this work would have been done. Air Products is a great company, been working in Louisiana for years, providing products to the petrochemical manufacturers around the state who make all the products that make our lives better. And I guess the numbers just didn't add up over time. This is a permit they applied for years ago, I think 4 years ago now, and it's been going through the process probably a little slower than they would like. And when you add up all the money they spent over that period of time, waiting for this permit to get done and prepping otherwise for this project, it looks like the profitability projections just didn't add up anymore. And so I think it is very unfortunate for the state of Louisiana, very unfortunate for Ascension Parish. I saw President Quintma made a comment talking about how unfortunate that was for Ascension and the thousands of construction jobs and hundreds of permanent jobs and millions, if not billions of dollars of investment in the parish and in the state. It's really unfortunate. I think we need to take a hard look at ourselves as a state and decide, what message are we putting out there? I know we're talking about all these projects that are coming to the state, but the bottom line is very few of them have actually broken ground. And so it is time for us to, stabilize our message a little bit, push back against the false information that these companies are having to deal with when it comes to the different projects that they're trying to implement. Mm-hmm. And stand up for ourselves, the state. I think it's a bit of a cautionary tale that we need to be careful about.
So that's where I want to go with this. It's not a matter of the economic viability of the project that fizzled away. Wasn't a matter of there's no economic viability in the product or the service. It was just in the way things were structured. When you drag your feet in business, when feet get dragged in business, it can stall itself into insolvency.
Well, look, I'm not in the boardroom with the Air Products folks. We talk to them all
Sure.
the time. They're great people doing great work. And so I can't tell you what made them pull the trigger on this decision, but I can tell you just common sense tells you that there were lots of external factors that were making this project more difficult than it needed to be. And so whether it's local pressure that's fueled by misinformation or a permitting process that's taken longer than it should have, or whatever. Brian, when it comes to carbon capture, I think the people of Louisiana, both through the state legislature who rejected all of these anti-carbon capture measures resoundingly during our session this spring, and the election that we had this past weekend where the people of Louisiana, didn't fall for the rhetoric about one candidate who was anti-carbon capture. I thought that election said a lot about what people really think about this issue.
Agreed.
Yet here we go with a project that won't move forward, and at least in part, in my opinion, because of some of that false rhetoric. Look, there's been other projects recently. Sungas up in the middle part of the state recently announced that they're not going to move forward on a multi-billion-dollar project. Again, their stated reasonings were similar, but we all know that there's more going on there. And so I think we need to be heads up as a state. We talk all the time, Brian, about wanting to keep our young people here in the state, wanting to get our young people that leave to go to school back to the state, wanting to give jobs to local people who have chosen to stay here in the state. And if we're not careful, we're going to miss this opportunity. This is a safe technology. Brian, I was thinking about it earlier. I spent almost 20 years as the leader of one of the biggest conservation organizations in the state. Nobody cares about this state and the conservation of our waterways and our land more than I do. And I know that this is safe. I know that this is scalable, and it's not. It is all the false narratives are just that. They are made up hysteria. Yet, yet we're going to allow companies to make decisions to turn away from Louisiana based on the fact that we're giving in at some level to this false narrative. It's a dangerous place to be. We need to be careful, and I think we're okay. We're going to move forward.
Yeah.
But this news out of Air Products is very tough.
No, it is, and the timing of it. I mean, it's a bummer. It's a deflator at a time where, like you said, we came out of the legislative session feeling like there's a little bit of momentum towards the future in this regard. And this flies in the face of that. So we're talking with David Cresson from the Louisiana Chemistry Association. Can we back up to the legislative session a little bit? Talk about wins and losses from your association's perspective.
Sure. Well, look, I didn't realize I had all this pressure on me, Brian. I'm the opening act for Newt Gingrich, so you better make this one good. I mean, you got to give me a warning about these things in the
Sorry
future,
about that.
No problem. I'm looking forward to hearing from him once I get off. But yeah. Look, I think as we talked about, our legislative session, as far as industry goes across the state, really went pretty well. I mean, we had. LCA was tracking, I think, 180 or 190 bills. And for the first time in quite a few years, we were able to really push some very positive legislation, specifically in regards to workforce and in regards to some tort reform measures that were really overdue and important to get done. And so LCA was right at the head of that with our partners, getting those things passed. And so we got some good workforce measures passed. We got some good tort reform measures passed. And I appreciate all the help you've given throughout that time trying to get the facts out to people. We were able to push back on all the legislation that was driven by false narratives and fear mongering, and all of those failed. And so I think when it comes to industry's plight through the session, it was really pretty positive, and I think we felt pretty good. As you mentioned, the news from Air Products yesterday is a bummer, and it's people are losing jobs over this decision yesterday, and that's and they've got to do what they've got to do for their company. But there are people that I know, good people, that have already lost their jobs because of this, and so we've got more work to do at the state legislature to make sure that we can encourage these companies to stick through it. That they're going to get their permits in a timely fashion, and that we can move forward as a state.
We're talking with David Cresson, the head of the Louisiana Chemistry Association. Talk to me a little bit about post-session. What goes on? What do you work on while you're not, as being the voice for the chemistry industry?
Well, it really never ends. I mean, we're already working on next year's session. There's a lot of election work that we get involved with, making sure that we are educating candidates about the issues that are important to industry. We're out working with local communities, trying to work with parishes and police juries and council people to make sure that their meetings, which happen all year long, we're in a council meeting every week, or if not multiples, working with those local governments, making sure that they understand the impacts of the decisions they make. And so our work really never ends. We're out meeting our members, providing opportunities for them to get together in networking opportunities. We're out talking about the industry, talking about the incredible work that our industry does, not just for the state of Louisiana and the people that live here, but really to secure the well-being, the security, and a better life for everybody in America. We talk all the time about the products our companies make here in Louisiana, the 80 or so petrochemical manufacturers in the state of Louisiana. And Brian, we cannot live without the products that these companies make. We should be proud of the fact that so much of it is begun right here in the state of Louisiana. And if we took away those products, more than 70,000 at most recent count, our lives would be different and worse. I'd hate to envision what that would look like. And so we're working on that all the time. It never ends. We're already working on next year's session. And we're proud to do that for our members.
Well, and it's at a time where there's a lot of rowing in the same direction to make sure that nationally we're out in front on this. And it just so happens that as the nation goes, Louisiana has the resources and the people, that we got the tools, we got the talent. It's just a matter of keeping ourselves out in front of the nation as the nation moves forward.
No doubt. Look, we've got a governor that has made it clear where he stands on all these positions. He's been very supportive. We've got a Louisiana Department of Economic Development that is leading as well. We've got secretaries across the cabinet that are pulling all in the same direction, and we've got industry that's ready to move forward here in this state. We've got to make sure we keep that message consistent. Again, yesterday with Air Products was a bummer. And that makes it seem less impactful than it is. It's a huge problem, but we need to move forward as a state. Additionally, and look, Air Products, they're going to continue to work here in the state. They issued a statement that they're hoping to increase their profitability here in the state. They do so much good work for so many companies here in this state. They got so many folks that work for them. They're going to move forward, but that news yesterday was a kick in the gut, but we'll move forward as a state, and I think we're still moving in the right direction.
I agree on that front. I agree. It's just when you have the bummer happen, you have the bummer happen. Stepping away from the current headlines and moving over to the calendar, we are in hurricane season right now. From LCA's perspective, what does that mean when it comes to working with your partners up and down the industry?
Man, I'm so glad you asked me this. We've got an incredible program at LCA that tends to take a back seat because it's not government affairs related and it's not happening at the Capitol. But our health and safety and security committee works every day, every month, to make sure that our companies are actually communicating with one another. They're implementing best practices. These companies get together once a month and they talk with each other. You imagine a world where competing companies get together in a room and talk about best practices with each other to make sure that they're prepared for the hurricane season, that they're doing, when emergencies happen, that they actually help each other take care of those in some cases. But hurricane season is a serious time of year for our companies. They take it very seriously. They're incredibly prepared. Health and safety is at the top of the list of priorities for all of these companies. And nothing can put a ding in that quite like a hurricane can. And so our companies are prepared for it. LCA plays a very important role in that by bringing these companies together to talk about, the latest and best practices. And we're very proud of that. I want to give a shout out to my guy, Mike Boykin at our office who helps run that for LCA. It's really important work. And thank you for asking about it.
We got about a minute and a half left with David Cresson from the Louisiana Chemistry Association. Are you in DC right now, or did you just go?
No, our team is up in DC.
Oh, okay.
In the America 250, celebrating 250 years of chemistry in America.
Yep.
And so they're up there, and I think they're having a great time helping represent the state. And I'm really proud that they're up there and that we've been invited to participate.
Yeah, I was going to grab a scene setter if you were in that number, but.
Well, I've talked to my team. They said it is incredible the way that they have built out the National Mall and how great it looks and the excitement in the air and all of the good news being spread around the nation's capital, and the different celebrations happening here in the state. And really, chemistry has been part of the United States since its founding in 1776. I mean, you think about it, the Americans would have never won the Revolutionary War had it not been for the brilliant chemists coming up with things like gunpowder and other products that made it possible for us to taste victory and move forward as a country. And so chemistry's been part of that from the very beginning. We play an important role these days, an ever increasing role, and we're really proud of that and appreciate you giving us an opportunity to talk about it.
Always. He's David Cresson, Louisiana Chemistry Association. Appreciate the time this morning, man. We'll talk soon.
Hey, Brian, thank you for what you do.
Always. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's 8:30. Here's news. Your side is.
Really? Okay.
No. I'm fine over here. What's the latest thing you're watching on Netflix or wherever?
Oh, The Last Ship.
The Last Ship.
It's about how, which is eerie, and it's just eerie as hell. I talked about it last night on Tiger. It was in 2018, 2019. It came out on TNT, I believe, and it's Eric Dane. He plays in Grey's Anatomy. Well, he's also the lead in this one, and it's about a global pandemic. And the ship had to go out to the Arctic to do some research anyways, and that's when he found out that a pandemic was hitting the world. And basically, the whole world is in pandemonium, like anarchy everywhere, people killing each other. God knows what's going on back home. And so, like, I'm on episode 5 of it right now. It is crazy. It's real action based.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of love stories yet. Not really. So it's all action and about how they have one doctor that's on the ship, and she's trying to find a vaccine because basically the ship, they're the last hope. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So it's really cool. I'm watching that one right now. What about you?
I'm watching. Well, let's talk about this in the last segment, just because I don't have anything. I don't feel like doing anything serious.
And then we could just say if you plan on hunkering down, we
Yeah,
got all sorts of
pretty
events in the capital region, but if you want to hunker down.
So Christy and I are watching a show. It's a mini series called "I Will Find You."
Really?
And it's based off of a novel by crap, what's this guy's name?
Harlan. I heard that's horrible.
Harlan
Corbin?
Yes. It is.
So Marler told me don't watch it. It's terrible. It's good.
Marler's wrong. There's a few disjointed parts in it, but it grips you right from the start.
Well, he's like, once we got to episode 5, he's like, I just couldn't anymore. And I'm like, is it one of those shows you got to stick with it though? I feel like it is, you know? Because it came up number 1 on my Netflix.
Yeah.
I watched it. I got to episode 2, and I didn't know if I should keep going. Well, I was at the gym. I was waiting on Scott to finish lifting weights.
Yeah.
The other day. And so, anyways, I'm watching my tablet. You know how at the YMCA AC Lucas they have those tables upstairs? Well, I'm sitting here on my tablet. I'm here. And he's like, what you doing here? And I said, I'm just waiting on Scott. He goes, what you watch? I said, The Last Ship. And he goes, oh, I've been watching that, whatever.
I Will Find
and
You.
I said, yes. I said, I've been wanting to watch it. He goes, don't. It's terrible. And I'm like,
Bro, he's wrong.
So now I'm going to have to give it another chance. Because I wasn't going to keep watching it after he told me it was terrible.
How much did you watch?
I got to halfway through episode 2. So I'm still trying to piece together, like, the wife went to go see the husband in prison. And they're talking about he could still be alive, the son. And I'm like...
So it takes a lot of twists and turns. So I understand why he would want to bail. Because, like... Yeah, well, because there's so many different... And every episode ends in a cliffhanger, so the next one picks back up strong. So... but, like... there's a lot of times where an episode will end or they'll give you the twist and you're just like, what the, like, how did that even happen?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Christy and I are enjoying it thoroughly.
What's the other one I'm watching right now? Watch the Michael Jackson, The Verdict. That, holy shit. I don't know if you watched the movie yet with Michael Jackson, not the biopic, not the movie. That's
No.
the documentary. That one was. There's so much dirt and so much that I'm like, holy shit, did he do it? But I still believe he's innocent. Watching my Easy Watch right now, like I have a lot of Easy Watches. I'm going back and forth with Nashville. I'm watching that still. Sweet Magnolia's just finished a new season. Like you're feel good. I'm doing laundry, kind of watching.
Time because the only thing better than talking politics with Newt Gingrich is talking history with Newt Gingrich. He's on with us right now. How are you?
I'm having a ball, and what a wonderful time with the 250th birthday of the most extraordinary country in history.
It absolutely is. It has been remarkable to be able to, I mean, stepping away from like our history and, all the headlines of the day, to have that coincide with the World Cup and have the rest of the world be like, yeah, these guys are pretty cool. It's nice that those two things come at the same time. It's been refreshing to say the least, while we celebrate the greatness that has been over the last 250 years. So let's talk about it a little bit. Newt's World, we got the podcast. Tell me all about it.
Well, first of all, with Newt's World, we do 3 a week, but in particular, in honor of the birthday, we've done 15 podcasts focused on topics that relate to the Declaration of Independence, the country we become, and to some extent, looking forward to the country we will keep growing into. We also developed 15 specific podcasts on inventions made in America that have changed the world and that are examples of what happens when you are serious about pursuing happiness as you were endowed by your creator to do. And I think people have found that the inventions is in some ways as exciting as anything that we're doing in this series on Newt's World.
Very cool. Give me some examples of the inventions you're talking about.
Well, I mean, the most obvious one is the airplane.
Okay.
It's invented, by two bicycle mechanics in North Carolina when the initial flight on December 17th, 1903, is shorter than the wingspan of a Boeing 747 at a speed slow enough that the one brother ran along the plane next to it as it was flying to make sure it didn't flip over and kill his brother. Now, think about what we do nowadays. And that all started with 2 American bicycle mechanics who had a hobby of learning how to fly. But you look at other things. I mean, look at the development of the telegraph, which really changed everything about sending information around the world. It's an American invention. Look at the development of the telephone. Look at the development of the motion picture. I mean, the degree to which Edison changed hundreds of things in his lifetime is just astonishing. So this has been a remarkably inventive country.
We're talking with Newt Gingrich. He's got the podcast Newt's World, and it's had a particular focus on America 250. I believe starting with the episode came out on June 20th. I'm going to be running through July 4th. You bring with you a number of guests as well. Tell us about some of your guests that come on to share in these experiences.
Well, we're very fortunate. I mean, a number of old friends. I was delighted that Jared Isaacman, who's the administrator at NASA, would join us to talk about the moon and Mars and beyond and all the things in the future, as well as, of course, the Apollo program and what we've done up till now. We were very excited to have Walter Isaacson, who has written a book called The Greatest Sentence Ever Written, which is the key sentence in the Declaration of Independence. My very dear friend, Alan Gelzo, joined us. He's probably the leading student of Abraham Lincoln. And in some ways, people will be very surprised. Ken Burns, who is the great documentary maker, came on and spent an hour with us talking about all the different amazing. He just did one on the American Revolution. He did one a while back on the Civil War. And Burns himself is just a remarkably creative person. And it was great. So we had a lot of folks we also, another old friend who joined us was Rachel Campus Duffy. She and her family had actually gone on a tour, if you will, to celebrate America's birthday by looking at America.
Very cool stuff. Talking with Newt Gingrich from Newt's World podcast. We have trouble keeping up with history these days, as it's talked about in so many different levels. How important is it for us to stay close to our core?
I think the key is to recognize that America was invented by human beings, just like you and me, just like all of our listeners. These weren't demigods. They didn't come down, on winged horses. And they had all the strengths and weaknesses that we associate with being a person. But they had a passion for freedom. The country had been amazingly free. Somebody once said that in 1770, we probably had the lowest taxed people in the history of the world, and we resented every penny. So it wasn't like we were grateful. But we had this whole sense of we were out here, we were running all the risk of creating a new country. And who were these people back in London to tell us what to do or how to do it? And so gradually we just grew apart. And then they had three very practical problems. How do you explain what you're doing so that the world can understand what's at stake? And that's why the Declaration of Independence is so important and why it's such a permanent and historic moral document. Second, you have to go out and win the war.
Right.
That took 8 years. And then third, you have to be prepared to organize a government that will work. As somebody once said, you have to, on the one hand, have a government strong enough to protect the country, but on the other hand, you have to have enough strength against the government that it can't, in fact, take over the country.
Got just a minute or so left with Newt Gingrich. In the scope of history, I know things feel very contentious these days. I don't know if anybody feels like we're really in a good place right now. But historically speaking, is America at a particularly contentious spot right now?
Well, not really. It feels uncomfortable because we have very deep, profound differences. You look at the three Democrats who won the congressional races in New York. I doubt if they would identify with anything you and I would talk about.
Right.
These people are anti-American. They believe in very, very radical values. And there's no surprise to me that the Democratic strategist James Carville came out and said they shouldn't even be seated in the Democratic caucus because they're not Democrats. So in that sense, there's tension and people are uncomfortable. If you go back and look at the Civil War, which lasted 4 years and cost us more American lives than every other war up through World War II. That was hard. You go back and look at the late 1960s, when the left-wing groups set off 2,500 bombs and had 1 million people standing around the Pentagon. That was really tense. So I would say right now we have challenges, and they are made more intense because, to the shock of everybody on the left, President Donald J. Trump actually wants to change things.
Right.
So everybody who had decided that they were good, hardline left-wingers and their whole career was going to be making money off the government and being in charge of your life by bureaucratic regulation. And now they suddenly discover that the president is opposite their views, that they may not have a job because he's shrinking the bureaucracy, and that you're not going to be allowed to dictate to other people. So you may actually have to go out and work and earn a living. And that has led to a certain bitterness on the left at the very idea that we would expect them to actually go out and earn a living and be responsible.
Wherever you get your podcast, just look up Newt's World. You will find it with a focus on America 250 right now. Can't tell you how much I appreciate a couple of minutes this morning. Newt Gingrich, thank you so much.
Great to be with you.
Anytime I get a chance to get at the former Speaker of the House, I'm definitely going to do that. Newt's World's podcast. Like we said, from roughly June 20th-ish through this weekend, dedicating it to America 250. I know I'm definitely going to check out the Ken Burns episode, if not all of them, to be sure. But I always appreciate his time. He's been on the show a couple times, always a wealth of information. First time he's been on for something that wasn't a book, to be sure. We got a couple minutes before we hit break real quick. Want to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is their website, LandmarkBankLA.com. Talk about America's 250. Landmark Bank was founded in 1897. That is taking it back more than half of the lifespan of America. Been in business on the same mission ever since. And that's pretty remarkable. Hasn't grown into some kind of multinational operation and hasn't fizzled out. They've stayed in their groove this entire time. And they've grown into a couple of different communities around Baton Rouge, and they'll continue to grow into a few more communities around Baton Rouge. But when it comes down to it, they are a community bank, which means you will have a banker, which means when you're mapping out where you want to be for retirement, if you're talking about borrowing a little bit right now to help get you, that home renovation you need, or the next car that's coming online, whatever the case might be, visit landmarkbankla.com. Don't just have a bank, have a banker at Landmark Bank. Hey, Bree Lynn, do we still have the clip of Tony Spell on the lawnmower?
We sure do.
All right, I want to revisit that real quick before we hit Your Money Now coming up in about 2 minutes. But you saw it all over. You've seen it through every news outlet. We talked about it Legally Served this morning. Pastor Tony Spell back out on it, back on the news again because of some body camera footage that was caught 2 days after he, beat the hell out of a neighbor. I mean, just beat the what out of him. And 2 days later, he was out just cutting the grass, and he was approached by an EBR sheriff's deputy because of a noise complaint.
He's just sore because I beat the crap out of his little faggot boy. And he's next if he comes over here and harasses these boys. Yeah, he needs to go back to sleep with his boyfriend.
I don't know why.
I didn't catch that till just now.
What,
he could go back to sleep with his boyfriend.
Right.
Damn.
I mean, that's too. That's a lot of just throwing homosexuality around right there.
Golly.
Here's the thing, though. That's a threat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it with Franz. Now, if the potentially the threatee, if the person being threatened doesn't hear it, it's not a threat. But I'm curious though because he's saying it on camera to a body cam. So. If you missed Legally Served, it'll be available on demand after the show is over with at talk1073.com. All right, Facebook. Hey, crew, need your help here. What are you watching right now? What are you binging? What's on Netflix?
Matt says somebody didn't bleep that very well. Oh, we know.
Yeah. They did a poor job of bleeping that.
Renee's watching the same damn thing you are, Brian.
Yeah.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin has a new scheme.
Oh, my back itches.
Durbin's bill could cut corners on your credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin will help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the mega stores and Dick Durbin, people that are trying to use the What if they're choosing important health to help others too? At Pennington Biomedical Research Center, scientists are studying obesity, diabetes, and heart disease to help families live healthier lives. But progress depends on people just like you here in Baton Rouge. This year, join a clinical trial and become part of research that improves lives here in Baton Rouge and around the world.
I love her. I love Vicky, but she's like obesity.
/clinical trials. That's PBRC.
Yeah.
Renee, same here.
Here's great news for Delta Utilities.
But I was told to stop watching it.
Natural gas account just got much easier. With Delta Utilities' new MyDU customer portal, you can track usage, pay bills, manage your account.
Oh.
Tips all in one convenient place. Just log in and set your password today to get started. That's Delta Utilities' new and improved customer portal at mydu.com. Don't have time for a trampoline injury? Don't have time for this call? We're here with online check-in so you can play from anywhere. Plus, on-site digital
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you try it, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
Oh,
man. You put gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
Yeah. A couple nights of sleeplessness is all. It's crazy how quickly the tired kicks back in. I mean, I didn't really take off last week. I just wasn't here doing the show. 2 weeks ago, I just took some days off from doing the show.
Well, that's like I had the class yesterday. It didn't start till 8. I set my alarm for 7. Wide awake at 5.
Nice.
I'm like,
Yeah.
the one day.
I know. No, I need a couple days where I can like take something to knock me out early, so I get used to knocking out early and staying out.
Have you tried Ambien? Because my doctor gave me that a while back.
Yeah, Ambien. I woke up as like a zombie. Yeah.
But you went down on it. You just woke up.
I'll fall asleep on anything. It's staying asleep that's a problem. My brain gets very active while I sleep, and I don't know why. $8:56. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hey, over at WBRC's website on their homepage, their big flipper right there says AG Liz Murrell to announce results of major fraud enforcement operation at the state capitol. That's a press conference that's coming up in about an hour and a half from right now. I'm not attending the press conference because I've already got Liz Murrell booked on the show 7:15 tomorrow morning, our Attorney General will unpack everything from today's press conference and probably address a few of the other headlines coming out recently, either the things that she's been working on or things that she's been named in. So AG Liz Murrill tomorrow morning, 7:15. She will be on the hotline, not on the not in studio, but we will have her for the latest on everything that gets broken down today. One Bath and Closets, onebathandclosets.com is the website. I love telling you, putting in these terms, if you didn't build your house, your bathroom wasn't built for you. I mean, that's just pretty plain and simple. Sure, you walked through the house before you bought it, you looked at it, you liked the amenities and whatnot, but your bathroom nor your closets, neither one was built for you. David Duvall and his 30 years of experience, David Duvall and his team of experts over at One Bath and Closets can absolutely fix that. If you hop on their website, onebathandclosets.com, if you hop on their website, scroll through the galleries and see what's possible, get yourself a bathroom that's built for you and your needs. Christy and I, we revamped our master bath late last year and have been absolutely thrilled with the results on every single level. Whether you're talking about having, we moved from one vanity to two, being able to both of us get ready at the same time, moving from the old school bathtub to the walk-in shower, which has been unbelievably refreshing with that water pressure. It's been great. Everything about the experience has been great. And it all started with a great team, and it's all started with David Duvall. OneBathandClosets.com. Give him a call, 400-8005 for One Bath and Closets. So tonight is going to be soccer, probably, on the TV. But we're about to head into a holiday weekend. Hey, Breland, what are you watching these days?
I go back and forth from the feel-good shows on Netflix. So Sweet Magnolias, I love that series. It's one of those where you can fold your laundry and watch it.
It's like watching something on Lifetime?
Yes. Kind of like, it's sappy, but it's an easy watch.
Okay.
I'm watching Blacklist, which is a little bit harder of a watch. You really have to pay attention.
Reddington.
Yes. Yeah, it's really good, though.
I can listen to that man tell a story all day long. I can watch James Spader do just about anything. He was so great on Boston Legal until they just got way too political. And it's easy to win political arguments when you're the one writing both sides of the script.
Yeah.
But James Spader as Alan Shore on Boston Legal is awesome. He's
so good. He's so good. I'm gonna.
And then you know what's underrated? James Spader on The Office.
What?
Oh my word! Yes.
I didn't know he was on The Office.
And I didn't watch The Office a whole lot, but oh crud, we gotta go. I didn't watch The Office a whole lot, but he played Robert California, and he was real good.
Yep.
An unbelievable ride. You do have to suspend disbelief when things jump around a little bit. I know exactly. So one of our coworkers, Chris Mahler, told her to get off of it. I could tell you exactly what point and exactly what episode where he was like, "Screw it, that's enough."
I believe he said
exactly
episode 5. What was the episode 4 or 5 where he told me, "Do not keep
and
watching
I'm not going to
show."
spoil it because I want you to get back in. But it is an unbelievable ride. It's very, very intense. You ask yourself a lot of questions. You do a lot of the detective work as the viewer. It is very you're not watching passively. You're paying attention to every little thing that goes on. It's one of those ones where everyone's a suspect. So it's
kind of like Blacklist. It's a lot.
No, it's nothing like Blacklist.
Yeah, but it's one of those where there's so many twists and turns, is what I'm saying. That's kind of what I mean by it.
I mean, Blacklist was very formulaic. You had the underlying who is the German or whatever.
The German. You're not talking about the girl, huh?
No, the storyline early on, about like an arch nemesis bad guy. Because it's been a while since I watched all the Blacklist. And then you had many shark jumpings in the Blacklist as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil those for anybody who's not seen them. But every episode of the Blacklist in and of itself was, here's the guy who's on the most wanted list. Here's how Raymond is connected to him. Here's how
I see what you're
they're
saying.
going. I mean, it was very formulaic in the way of like they attached each episode. The writing was phenomenal and the acting's phenomenal, but like
I'm gonna have to watch.
You'll watch of the 30-minute episodes. they will take a completely unexpected turn twice per episode where you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Oh, damn.
So yeah. Anyway, we'll bring this topic back up tomorrow because we didn't even get to what you and I were really watching.
I know.
So-
I really wanted to tell everybody about the show I'm really watching, which is 10 out of 10. All right. Well,
All right. We'll see y'all later on. Bye.